Oh, mic was on. Sorry for the pop. Anyway, howdy. Howdy, y'all. What's going on? Called up the courthouse about the online payment not working. They're pretty blasé about it, even though, howdy from Texas. Oh, it's actually, say howdy there. We don't say that up here. Yeah, I actually called the courthouse about my little inspection ticket, and they were like, whatever. It's like, wait, hold on. I'm like stressed out about this. How are you not? Like, yeah, you'll get a warning soon. It's all right. Doesn't matter. Just send us an email with your plea. And I'm like, okay. And I guess after that, maybe I get to pay. And then I remembered that I did exactly this years ago. Through the magic of Gmail, I searched. I think I just searched for plea. And I found a not guilty plea in my records for the same thing at around the same place. I probably should have gone for a not guilty on that, but because then you just go into the courthouse and go, I fixed it. But I'm pleading guilty. I'm just gonna pay the fine, be done with it. No, I also have tickets for my Easy Pass not registering when I went through a toll booth. Ooh, I gotta deal with those tonight. I gotta deal with those before they become a big deal. Yikes. All these automated systems they use now. Alright, what do we got going on here? All kinds of stuff. The redesign of this panel. Not the best print. The P and API didn't come out very well, which is unfortunate. This is kind of like pushing it for the 3D printer. So we'll use that as a test bit, but I'll probably have to redo that whole print cycle, which is annoying because I need to swap filament in the middle of that print. We're going to use the oven to build the LED board, just because it's so annoying to solder all those components and get it right with the tolerances that we put into everything there. If I had left a little bit more copper exposed on all the different traces, all the different parts, pads, I'd probably have a little bit of a better time of it. But getting everything in alignment is sort of the oven's domain. Wayne Johnson's cat jam didn't come through because I didn't prime my chat. Usually I have to put a couple chat messages up there for them to show up, just because of the way I designed it. That's something I should probably fix. Ay. All this stuff. Well, now I have this little thing of conductive epoxy. Yeah, there, you got it in. I have this thing of conductive epoxy that I don't need. I don't know how long this stuff is going to last. When mixing, product may cause skin irritation. Yeah, it's just epoxy. 2.5 grams. No expiration date on it. Ugh. I guess that just goes with the epoxies and glues. I'll just toss it over there for now and organize it later. Later. I got the terminal blocks for the printer. And put those in eventually. I'll probably do that off camera just because it's such a pain in the butt to get under the 3D printer. Clean off my desk, even though I'm not going to need that much space today. I'm always afraid when I pick up the wire cutters that I'm going to snip the soldering iron cable. This thing needs like an armor sheath around it, just because wires that I need in the presence of a wire cutter. Put that away. Put that away where it can't harm anybody. I can't believe I actually sanded the traces off of the corner of the circuit board. Oh, and for some reason, I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but this didn't work. These MOSFETs in my car, I don't know why either. I don't know why they don't work. They just don't work. Car has more error codes on it. I ordered another anti-lock brake controller box, and it's coming from Lithuania because I couldn't find a better price anywhere. Oh, that stuff's kind of solid when it hardens up. It cracks easily though. The thin layer of it, you could make glue traces. Yeah. All this to waste. So yeah, I ordered a new control unit, like an entire new control unit, and I'll have to figure out how to register it with the car. Car needs to have, like, I guess the module needs to have like the VIN number of the car and stuff programmed into it. And so there's a couple little tutorials on how to do it online. Luckily, all of the car programming tools are just out there. They're free. You can just download them from the internet. There's a website that sells programming stuff, but they are altruistic enough to have the link there for all of the specific BMW car tools that you need in order to get into the computers and make them all happy with one another. It's a very clunky system. But I mean, all these car electronic systems were pretty much cobbled together sequentially over years and years of development. So they're kind of like a shaky totem pole of devices that you can get into and manipulate. And that leads to wonderful, wonderful security issues where you can do something like reprogram a tire pressure monitoring system so that it can then reprogram a CAN bus system so that it can allow you to activate the car's braking system remotely. You know, people kind of omit the fact that you need like cardinal knowledge of the car's systems in order to do something like that. While possible, it is very complicated to do. There's an XKCD comic that sort of has that as a punchline, but it's very difficult to do. An empty desk. Messy desk is a messy mind. Okay, yeah, a little happier with the way that is. Let's see. Blech. That one over there. This one right here. Open up this thing. Do we have any restarts that are needed? Oh, look at that. Fusion 360 not needing a restart. That's unique. That's very unique. That's usually not what happens. Where's my document? There it is. I feel like maybe I need to do an organizational session on this specific design, since it's so many different things in one, and I've got just too many steps putting this thing together. It needs sub-assemblies. Okay. Whenever you're ready, buddy, just, you know, open that document up. Whatever you need to do. Urgh. We're finally in the throes of winter weather. It's no longer deciding whether or not it's going to be winter out. Although I could use a little bit more cold. We got rain instead of snow. Rain, rain, rain. It's been raining all winter, and the entire neighborhood is just saturated with water. I've never seen it like this, like to the degree where you can see like soil movement, like on a geological scale. Oh boy, what is this thing thinking about? That's a fair amount of time that this thing is taking in order to open up this document. This usually doesn't take this long. Yeah, pull out the collar a little bit. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's... Hello? Oh boy. Not good. Not good. I need you to function today, Fusion. Please, please, please to be working. Well, at least it's only messing up my intro. It's not messing up the actual show. I'm not sitting here looking at my watch with chat in tow. We're just hanging out ahead of stream. I should put this up. There we go. The ever-confusing Start Soon banner that inevitably somebody is going to comment about, thinking that I don't have my own production in a window up in front of my face. How could you broadcast without having something like that? Like the times when I do game streaming, I don't have it up in my face, and I mess up regularly on the visuals that are supposed to be up on the screen. I need to run like a presentation monitor out and around to where I can see it, or put a mirror up or something. Maybe like a little piece of mirror that I can view behind my back. All right, here we go. There we go. The loose representation of what's here. I do kind of feel like I need to be splitting these off into different sections, because I do want to do a little bit of editing on these legs here. I want to have them attached to the side of the rail like everything else. We're going to be working over here today. The last bastion of actually figuring out how to solve these problems without the help of CAD. the last thing that I can't 3D print my way out of. I like how the translucent turned out, right? Like that shade, but I should probably make those. We'll do an appearance menu on this. I'm gonna make them the black plastic material. Bad. It's just a better representation of what's there visually. There, I did it. It's over. It's done. Not really that flattering of a design, is it? What up, Woody Basket? Wayne Johnson and Veet Nukem as well. My super active and exciting pre-chat before stream. Oh my God, look at it go. I can barely even read a single comment. So active. Wipes tear. That's right. When the board goes live again, that's when people will suddenly show up. We'll have tons and tons of viewers. That's how it always works, actually. That's like embarrassing how many subs you get when you incentivize people a little bit. But we are sure taking our sweet frickin' time putting this thing together. I think what I want to work on today, and I know it's still stream starts soon, but I don't have any weird thoughts to go over, so I'm going to go over my weird thoughts about how this thing is going together. I think what I want to do is I want to design something that's going to hold up that heatsink, sorry, the radiator. It'll just hold the radiator up in that location, and then it'll have a big flat wall that I can tape the pump to. And also tape the, I get double-sided foam tape. Or actually I could also use the dual lock, the 3M Velcro. But I want to have flat surfaces on this thing because we have the, what do you call them? We have the distribution blocks and the pump that need to go in this space. It might have been cooler to put the stuff in front of the radiator, but it works out better this way because I've got like a channel back here where I can run the tubes. So I'll just have this big tubey mess back there, and the front will look a little bit more organized. I should probably make a grill for this though. Subbed one time when the old board was up, and I'm for sure gonna sub when this is finished. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, listen, it's great. I love all the support that pours out of Twitch when you do something interesting and weird. So that's what I hope to bring to the table. I hope to do the interesting and the weird. What really frustrates me about this part, and why I keep looking at it and sighing heavily, is that I need to have two little wings on the side where the bolt goes, but then the shape of it means that there's no way that I'm going to 3D print that cleanly. The PETG does not like supporting itself on the printer. is DJ Everyday from Hex, the Philadelphia Experiment, self-styled music collective in Philadelphia that does all kinds of deep house kind of parties. I haven't seen Everyday in a while. I hope he's up to no good. I tried using the space gray for the backing, and I guess it looks okay. It looks kind of like some kind of space age material that's been like coated in asbestos or something. It's this stuff right here. See, it kind of looks a little weird. Felt guilty. Christian Emil. Thank you for subbing for 3 months. I did not intend to guilt trip you into it. I really appreciate the subs. They go a long way. Go a long way for a long project like this. I wonder if I should 3D print the posts that go up to the screen. That's probably a better way to do it. And then I can control it a little bit better. But that also means that the printer has to make these huge posts that go all the way up to the screen. Probably, yeah, I'll probably do that. I'll probably do that. That drawing is going to require like a lot of little tweaks here and there to get it in good shape. But it's so far so good. We've got a pretty good thing going on. I'm also wondering if I should put the power supplies behind the screen. I could make mounts for them, even though I think they get too hot. If they get like physically hot to the touch, maybe not a great idea. Maybe these are better suited in the power supply area with the board that I've made for them, which is like real bush league compared to the rest of this thing, the rest of this design here. It's all right. It's all good. Bit by bit, we're chipping away. We're chipping away all the little tasks that need to be done on Burn the Subs, and eventually all our little jobs will look like one big, large job, and we will have made progress as a result. How accurate to that are we? I think this is centered a little bit better than here, which means that our mount holes are going to be off by a little bit unless I correct that. But we'll get into it when we get started. Resizing the window. Okay, it did it. Get that to fit. All right, there we go. Pretty good, pretty good. And I need to chop up this bottle so that I can make a diffusion plastic. What's up, Ray Marie? Let me just cut out a big section of this right now, and so I don't have an empty bottle on the desk. Makes me feel a little bit less like I live in the middle of an active explosion. This is the weird part of the song where everything gets like overly serious. Ooh, see, that cuts so smoothly that it feels like I'm gonna hurt myself, like when the knife slips. Because this cuts like butter. Oh my god! It's also a very sharp scalpel, so. Like butter. Wait, is there liquid in here? No. Wow, that's a wobbly line. That is a wobbly cut. A little wobbly. All right, those are the sections that I need to make diffusers. which will just go 1 per in these things right here. And what that'll do is it'll provide me with a smooth material instead of a material that's sort of cross-hatched. Because the 3D print, if you exaggerate it, it's like this, right? And so the little holes allow light to get through. And so what ends up is that this screen looks sparkly just because of the way the 3D printer distributes its stuff. But I can't correct the P on the API of that one. An entire, like, what is it? It's like a 3-hour print to make this, and it's all ruined by that P. Sag. Should we just start? It's probably about time. Probably about time. I need to put stuff away. Things are starting to look a little crazy around here. Everything that's not, well, no, even the stuff that's on camera is pretty wild. I haven't had time to just like break stuff down and put it all back together. That's kind of what I need to do, especially with this top shelf, because I need to move both monitors up. That would be the ideal location for them when broadcasting. Because right as it is right now, if I look at my other, the monitor that used to have the webcam right over top of it, it still kind of does. It looks like this. This is me looking at that monitor. It's not a good look. This isn't what all of my previews for a little while looked like that. Me looking straight down at the at this other monitor, which, you know, that was all well and good for coding for a little while, but it, you know, promotes a straighter back if I have both of them up here, and that way I can put all my video monitors and stuff up, and they'll be all at a glance, as opposed to me looking at my belly button. That's why I'm putting CAD over here, though, so it looks a little bit more natural in the windows. See, I can look like that. Bada bing. Looks like I'm actually paying attention to the thing that I'm supposed to be looking at. Weird, huh? Weird. That's super weird. I think I just need to, like, throw stuff out. Have you tried 3D printing the letters on plastic from the bottle? That would be kind of interesting to do, wouldn't it? I guess I would need... Well, the probe already does sort of feel out what the height is. So if it thinks it's a particular height at a particular part of the section of the bed, I wonder how it's going to react to that. Or if it even uses those numbers. I'm starting to believe that my printer is ignoring its leveling results. I should throw it a curveball like that and see if it'll print directly. What plastic is this? I don't know if this isn't PETG. I guess the PETG would stick to it, though. That'd be interesting. I wonder how that would work. Make like a frame that I could cut and then have it clip into the rest of this, so I could print the letters directly on this plastic. But then, like with this, the what do you call it? Hold on, let me get the camera in the right spot here. Like with these, this would bleed. You know, this could bleed into adjacent squares. But I guess it would be very thin, so there would be less of a... It would be less bleedy. Well, that certainly got me thinking, but I don't know if I'll struggle through it. I like how it's clear to thermals. Long wave infrared goes through. LWIR. Unaffected by my sody bottle plastic. Actually, well, it is affected by it. You can see the intensity goes down quite a bit. Neat. Thermal energy goes right through it every time. So, morning, Kegis. Yeah, things are a bit of a mess. Dog got spayed on Friday, so she's in a cone. She's been taken to the cone pretty easily, although she clearly has a lot of itchy spots that she can't stand. So I've had to like scratch the sides of her head for her. And she'll immediately like try to decide which leg to twitch when I do it, because I'll scratch both at the same time, and so she kind of leans into one and then the other one starts twitching and she doesn't know what to do. She's on pain meds and meds to kind of just keep her chill, but she's not that chill of a dog, so she's been running around a little bit. This morning we did our walk, we said hi to all our buddies who are out in the neighborhood, and then she proceeded to full-on sprint to her favorite pooping spot, which is right in front of the neighbor's house. But she ran there and I couldn't stop her. You know, what am I gonna do? So I think she'll be all right. It's 14 days in the cone, which I don't think we're really going to be able to muster 14 days. I don't think she's going to make it that far, but she seems to be healing pretty good, and she's had since, what was it, Friday? Saturday, Sunday, Monday. When are you going to stream? Nah, I don't think I'm going to stream today. We're just going to have an intro. Pick her up while pooping? No. I'm not talking about stopping her pooping. I mean stopping her from running, because she has stitches on her abdomen. Abdominal stitches. Boy, I didn't know the LED board would be so much work. This is so much work. I don't know why. It's such a simple little thing. We just have transistors that are turning on and off LEDs. And I use transistors. I probably could have used FETs of some nature. But I just wanted to have a board that would operate at a particular voltage, and it would light up indicator lights. And then the next question is, of course, where is that voltage coming from? Because 24 volts is a little bit much for these things. And so do I need to put like a little, like a 5-volt regulator on this thing? In which case, 24 volts is our supply. It's hard to find a 5 volts from 24. The one that we have here does multiple amps. It's for the Raspberry Pi. So we have this, and it has its own status light, but if this goes out and not the 24 volt supply, this whole board goes blank, and then it's like, well, now I have to do like troubleshooting in order to figure out where the failure was. If the power supply, the 24 volt power supply goes out, all the LEDs are off. If the 5 volt power supply goes off, all the LEDs are off. What's the point? I guess that's why the Vicor power supply says put a battery on a warning light. Then you put like an external cell on the warning light, and then the good status from the two status outputs are like opto-isolator outputs, and they are active low. So they're active high. So when it's low, everything is fine, and your warning lights are off. But we're reversing it using a transistor. It's all so complicated. Are we? We're actually not reversing it, are we? I mean, I can always turn it into reversing. I didn't plan for that. I probably should have. I should have planned for that. Because these are all active high. I think this one's active low. What's that one? I gotta figure it out. I'll have to figure all that out. Meantime, we gotta design some solids. That's what we're working on today. Get the knife. Whenever I put the knife on the desk, I end up just like working on the desk, and then I'll be like, oh, there's a knife under my hand. Like, I don't know what it is about this thing that gravitates directly towards being under my hand at all times. Good enough. All right. song is going towards a more I don't know how to describe it, like a train beat. Whatever. Anyway, let's get the music out of here and let's actually get started today. What are we gonna work on, Bother? Oh, I know what we're gonna work on. You guys just don't. Yeah, that's right. I'm the one who knows what's going on. It's my show, mine. Anyway, what are we doing today? Welcome to another week with Oh Bother. I'm gonna be looking for the knife later. Oh, because it's sticking directly towards where I'm looking, so it's got like the lowest profile it possibly can in my vision. Yeah, what's going on? We're still working on Burn the Subs. I mean, I know I haven't worked on that lately. I've been trying to get my car, registered and on the road and all that stuff. That's been kind of a priority, and the car had some like interesting stuff for us to look at. So I figured I'd do like 1 or 2 streams on the car, and I guess I've done way too many. Turns out, that flat cable that we worked on, getting that lined up just right so that all the contacts are there and perfect. It's much harder IRL than an MSC. MSC is fun because it doesn't have all the IRL shenanigans that car repair has. The flat cable repair that we painstakingly did, and it took us more than one stream, mainly just because I wanted to do the LEDs in a particular way. We didn't really need to do the LEDs in that way, but it turns out you can actually fix that problem with the flat cable by taking one of the igniters from a lighter, the little piezoelectric clickers that have the wire coming out of it. And you put the wire, you basically click it in your hand, but you put the wire up to that screen and click it. And something about the high voltage, I guess, knocks something free. I don't know if it like knocks the carbon away or something, and allows conduction to happen into the display. Really weird fix. I wouldn't be comfortable trying it in my car, but apparently that does something for the screen. Who knew? The problem with that screen stems from the problem everywhere else in the car, and that's moisture. I had a lot of trouble with moisture, and we've done a bunch of different repairs, including the stereo amplifier in the car that got moisture under the connector that I didn't know about until I desoldered the connector, and it eroded the positive power trace. And that problem happens to occur when I'm replacing braking components and I've left the car, the battery in the car to discharge. I guess putting a new battery in there caused, I guess, enough of a surge to break that trace. And so the radio went silent. All the advice online is for the more complicated DSP radio that actually speaks to the car, whereas mine is just a dumb amplifier. It's just a very simple piece of equipment. The dumb amplifier, if I had known, I would have looked at it more closely. The DSC smart amplifier in the car sometimes has trouble communicating when you put a battery back on it. So I had to sit out there, disconnect the battery for 10 minutes, connect it again, in hopes that the module that I don't have would communicate with the car and register itself and start working again, whereas it was just a broken power trace. This is the story of everything in this car too, because we went through the anti-lock braking system, painstakingly identifying a problem with its ability to activate a pump motor. And I tried to repair it. With MOSFETs. We found this nice little cheapo MOSFET board that I got off of Amazon because they weren't selling bare MOSFETs that had anywhere near the specs that I needed. We spec'd out the FET, and it said that at a threshold of 1.7 volts, the MOSFETs that are in another part of the anti-lock braking system, the ones that are much more replaceable, those are spec'd to be 1 volt GDS or whatever, the voltage for triggering. We tested these and we triggered them with 12 volts and it ran the pump perfectly fine. There wasn't even any heat in the MOSFETs. It was totally happy to run that pump. But then I put them in the car and I double checked. I took the ABS module back here to the bench this weekend and took a close look at it. And we used conductive glue in order to make sure that we could connect to the specialized high temperature circuit board. Put the FETs in. We used motor wire because it is compact and the one that I have here is designed to carry a lot of current. We tested that motor wire with the pump in 12 volts to make sure it didn't heat up, and it didn't. So I get everything together, I ohm it out several times, everything ohms out. put it in the car, 30 miles an hour, all of my lights come back on. ABS, DSC, it's dynamic stability control. So it's ABS, dynamic stability control, and the brake light. All three of them on immediately, 30 miles an hour. So it was doing something, or it tried to do something, and it didn't like what it saw. There's feedback lines for the high side and the low side of the motor, of the pump motor. So whatever it's doing, it didn't like it, and here I am. So I had to spend $160 for a Lithuanian ABS module from a junk car that is the same type of ABS modules. That was the only good price that I got. They can range from a couple hundred to like $400 or $500 to get a new module. I bought a new module cheap, and so I'm waiting for it to ship. That's the story of the car. We can put that away now, I guess. God, that was annoying. I'm mad. I'm mad about our failure to fix a very obvious and easy problem to fix. I think maybe if I wanted to stick to my guns, I would have to find a MOSFET similar to these, but had a lower trigger voltage. I have a feeling they're not. Well, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they provide a full blast of power in order to make their FETs go off? It seems unlikely that they would spec the thing to be so close to like 1 volt, 1 point something volts in order to trigger a FET inside of your computer. I don't know. So I'm just going to get a new module. It's about time. I'm done with that. Anyway, so we're actually working on Burn the Subs today. That's what we're supposed to be working on. And that's what we'll work on. We'll work on Burn the Subs. What is Burn the Subs? Start from the beginning. Burn the Subs is another piece of automation in this shop. It is technically a robot, but it is more akin to like a 3D printer that automatically gets names from the Twitch API, figures out how to put them into a randomly placed word cloud of names so that there are no conflicts, so they don't collide with one another, and then it burns it using a laser. I wonder what would have happened with Burn the Subs if we let them collide. There would be a whole lot more names on the board, that's for sure, but then eventually it just turns into like a piece of carbon. I don't know what the distribution would look like too, the random distribution. It would be like a map of probabilities in the Raspberry Pi. That would be kind of cool. Anyway, Burn the Subs is just like it's like a playground for Twitch names. I figured back in the day, there was an incident with a maker, who had a banana. They're probably multiplications more successful than I am. Because they were getting raids from like big channels. They got a raid from what's his face. I guess I don't even know who to. I shouldn't name the specifics, but it was a community that was a little bit toxic, and by a little bit toxic, I mean Twitch used to be pretty positive towards toxicity, and this is one of the more toxic Twitch chats in existence at the time. This maker had created basically a servo that would wiggle a banana, and below the banana there would be a little display that said something, and it would speak people's, I think, comments, and I think it was just like chat comments or something like that. So they got a raid from this big streamer. At the time, the toxicity got such that it was uttering racism, which apparently is a direction that a lot of robots choose to go on the internet when they're exposed to the internet. But it went towards racism, and a report was issued, and then Twitch banned the guy for, I don't know how long it was, but they came back and probably bounced back pretty nicely. The person who got raided like that actually created a phonetic censorship program, I guess. But that was the news at the time, right? And so I was thinking, man, I wanna like do like a whiteboard or something where I can put the names of subscribers up. So they have to pay money to get the text up there, and then the text is just their username. So if the text is just their username, that means that we don't need to censor things at all. It turns out we need to be a little careful because people be crazy, and Twitch doesn't catch everything. But that was supposed to be the humor. It was like, people have some pretty crazy Twitch names, pretty out there stuff going on, and I love to see the creativity. And then the funny part is that, like, Mayor McBoobs gets their name etched onto a nice piece of wood. The permanence of it adds to the comedy. So that was the idea behind Burn the Subs. So we've had 2 boards, right? We've had 2 boards already, and they've both got hundreds of names on them. We did some font work for the second version of Burn the Subs so that all of the letters would be a single line as it got smaller and smaller. So now we're at the 3rd iteration. The change in the art is going to be, one, that it's a live edge piece of wood. So it looks like something that came out of a tree. It's not just a square. We need to figure out how to make a helper program that's going to let me define the edges of that board and keep names from going on those edges. In addition to that, everyone's name is now going to be the same size. So there's not, I don't want to promote a bum rush of people trying to get on the board. There will be a bum rush at some point, and probably people trying to be the first name on the board. Hopefully I will be able to announce when the board is going to go live. I haven't even thought of that yet because we're not quite there. The board is going to feature from OG subs. Like, if it's your subscription like this, like Pro Amateur Expert just subbed for 11 months with Prime, thank you very much. And you can use your free Prime sub. Yeah, and you know, there's no differentiating between, well, there is going to be differentiating between gifted subs and original subs. So OG subs, like the one that just went up, those will go up in a bubble letter font. So it'll be little outlines of letters, right? That'll be the smallest size bubble letter font that I can possibly do. And then gift subs will go up as a single line font, which will be slightly smaller. And we'll see what that looks like in the end. We'll see what that looks like, because it'll be cool to see what the distribution of open space from the bubble letters versus the single lines filling stuff up. Because I guess it's not gonna last as long, because the amount of space is going to be taken up very quickly. So in order to put our best foot forward on that whole plan, I wanted to do some hardware redos on the board. So in order to keep up with the current state of electronics, we have a new 3D printer board instead of the unsupported, not even a schematic XY table controller. Because I bought that thing like in, I don't even know when I bought it. I bought it a long time ago. And there was like no information on it whatsoever. So now we have an actual known good 3D printer driving board that we're probably going to only be using the 2 motors on it. What do you call it? The laser is just set like a TTL, like a 5 volt and 0 volt signal. So it's basically XY and then laser power. We will also have, probably the Raspberry Pi is going to be triggering a bunch of stuff, like turning on and off the pump, among other things. So we got a Raspberry Pi, same one as before, new board here, a screen. This is a kind of a vital addition, because I need this to tell me what's going on. I'll just have it display basic information about what are due. Of course, we've got a new power supply on this thing, and it is like twice the size of the old one. Very thin, but this thing is huge. I'm using it because I have it. I went on eBay a while back and I looked up power supplies, and then I bought this one, and I've had it in tow in my electronics stuff for, oh my God, it could be 5 years. It might even be 10 years. Oh my God. Holy crap. 2013 was 10. I'm going to throw up. Anyway, so yeah, this thing has been in tow for quite a while. It needs a job. My hope is that this is unlike the 12 volt power supply that I built using the same stuff for my computer. I hope it's not like that, because that one makes a screeching noise when there's no load. It's a little 60 hertz screeching noise that it makes when there's no load on the system. That's going to be a problem for Burn the Subs, although the Raspberry Pi is always going to be hooked up, but it might not take up that much current, which means this thing will switch the frequency and it'll get closer to audible. I don't want it on audible frequencies. It would be very, very annoying. Anyway, that's just a future concern. I could always put like a dummy resistor across this, so it's always using up a certain amount of power. That seems a little less than ideal. I don't know. I guess maybe the screen I won't have running all the time. The LEDs will be running all the time. The Raspberry Pi will be running all the time, and occasionally turn on and off the 12-volt pump. Yeah, that would probably be the idea, is just to have a dummy load on it. But I don't know if the quiescent for the Raspberry Pi might be enough to keep it silent. Because, well, it's not quiescent. The Raspberry Pi is always going to be running. So if somebody subs while I'm not streaming, they'll end up on the board. You cannot escape the board. So we've been working our way through this thing, and as time goes on, the style changes bit by bit. I was going to use this stuff to make the smoked transparent resin to do a lot of the stuff here, but I've decided to pivot, and instead of using space gray, which I used for a little bit, I'm going with black. So I guess I'll probably reprint this backing here. There's a couple tweaks that I want to do to it anyway, including having plastic posts hold the screen up, and then I've got different feet for this thing too. So I need to have like I guess like a grippy hole down there, and then I'll put a fastener through the top here to hold that leg on, and I want to have the leg attached from the side. So that's going to be kind of a weird print. It's going to be a weird one. Should be okay though, hopefully, because this adjusts from the side, this one from the side, so we'll make this one also operate from the side. Just how it goes, right? So on top of all that, there's one area that we haven't looked at yet, and that's right behind this radiator here. So I need an area that I can operate. I can put all this stuff that's going to look nice and organized and route all the pipes all around. And I guess behind the radiator is going to be it. Might come up with like a grill design for the front just to kind of cover it. And I probably need to stick a fan in here somewhere, just like one of these little tiny guys, just to move a little bit of air, just so that we have some heat exchange going on. The previous board just relied on volume of water in order to cool everything, which is all well and good for this system. I don't think anything's going to saturate all that much, but we are now cooling the laser with the water system. So if I put just this little tiny guy back here somewhere and just have it blowing forward at all, that should probably be enough to give it a little bit of an exchange. So that leads us to Fusion 360. I'm going to jump over here. I already actually primed everything for once by actually opening up this piece of software ahead of time and letting it update. My God, I can't believe actually I gave it plenty of time to update. Turns out it didn't need to update this time. I don't know why. It's so weird. So one thing that I haven't done is centered this part in our drawing, this radiator dummy. A delta fan on the radiator. No. I was thinking about whether or not I should cool the power supply modules with the water system. The answer is no, I shouldn't. That's dumb. It's totally and completely unnecessary. I don't really think I should be running, because all it would take is just like a little copper tube sitting up against this stuff with that you could run water through. But I don't think the power, the 12 volt and the 5 volt modules are going to be too happy to have anything to do with water. I don't exactly have a block that I can situate on top of this thing. I don't think the bottom of these things is flat. No, it's not. Yeah, it's got there's like a bunch of stuff down there, including a big FET. So I don't know who's creating all the heat in this module. It might be the big FET. Here, let me take a look at one of these modules separate. I don't actually know which one's 5 volts and which one's 12 volts. Water cool my laser, it's not a bad idea. 10 watt lasers, only cooled via fan, which is noisy when running. Yeah. Yeah, the Alpha Cool sells these little miniature blocks that you can use on that you can use on Raspberry Pi processors, but you can also put it on anything. Or you could just put a tube on things. Water cooling is fun and educational. I don't know where all the heat goes on this. I mean, maybe the switching element's here, so maybe that chip is actually what creates all the heat. Now, it does have quite a few meaty traces under it. That or it's this thing right here creating all the heat. I'm not sure. We haven't really run this thing yet. I haven't really run this thing yet, and the problem is, can't exactly get a block on that. Nor should you need to. It's just they claim, and it's not to the detriment of the operation of the power supply, but Pololu says that these things can get too hot to touch during operation. I was considering putting, we made this board just to kind of route all the power traces around, right? It's kind of a junky kind of board, but that will fit back here behind the power supply. And I can have the terminals stick up a little bit if we have room so that I can get to them, so I don't have to fully disassemble this whole thing in order to get to it. And I'll have to make a, I guess, just a piece of plastic that this thing can screw into, because I'll need at least like one mounting hole over here, and then I'll have a connector over here, and then I've got the two that are just included with this board. So we'll have to measure where these are, and I can make just a little thing that'll just mount right there so that it'll hold this board. That'll be good, but I don't know. It's kind of junky, and I was thinking maybe I could come up with something that would go behind the screen, but then I've got power supplies in two different areas. I mean, that's a little weird, but there's a fan right there. So if I put them here, then they've got active air running across them. This thing generates a little bit of heat too, the VFD. That won't be active as often as these are. But if these are down here, then they just have natural convection through the back of the rail system. Since it's open down there, it's just open. It's just open to the elements. So I think we got to design two things today. We're probably not going to get both of them designed, but we'll mount the radiator with plans of having a fan somewhere adjacent to it so that we can just sort of casually run a fan. And I need to get the distances correct here. Well, no, I think I just need to fix it in my drawing. Yeah, because it's like, it's in an odd place. The hard line is kind of what's killing it right now. And I could make that all tubes once I have something that's going to mount this more reliably to a position on the setup. Yeah, I can put it up. Putting it all to tubes is probably easier. That way I can take these distribution blocks and I can just sort of attach them to a big piece of plastic where they'll be a bit more organized. Of course, I probably should actually plan out the size of this stuff, but I don't want to model everything. It seems like I'm going to have to. So what am I thinking for this? Well, start off, this thing is not even on either of its dimensions. Ooh, I hate it when I click stuff and nothing moves. I always think that I'm rearranging stuff in the drawing. Yeah, a big enough radiator you can passively cool with. You get air convection and stuff. They sell them. There's a place that what happened here? Who hurt you, pump? This drawing is an absolute disaster. There's so much stuff in here, and it's just like, where do you even start with something like this? I feel like I need to come back in and I need to reorganize this whole thing. Possibly even take some of the parts and spin off their own assemblies. The only concern is that some things rely on the position of other things in order to go together properly. So we have, like, the position of this power supply dictates how tall this frame is. So I'd have to move a whole lot of stuff into a separate drawing in order to properly plan on it. So we're going to try to play fast and loose with this. I don't think I need to completely yeah, I would have to come back in and correct all this stuff, and so we're going to ignore the problem for now. We'll just ignore the problem, and hopefully it won't be a problem in the end. But yeah, we need to make something that's holding up this radiator. And I think it should probably take the form of, well, you know, I was thinking of doing like a plate from here to down here, but I don't think that doing it as like two brackets like this, but that blocks all the verticality of this thing. I mean, I am gonna need a place where I can mount that pump. So I guess we will need to have a vertical wall on this. That means that the 10 millimeters of the rail is gonna be what dictates the size of the space that I have to run wires and tubes. Not a lot of wires really need to go up this high. Pretty much just 12 volts and maybe any LED stuff that I want to do with the reservoir. So maybe we're okay on that one. Yeah. I mean, I could make it a hollow box, but And then if I go in like a C shape, or should I do a couple panels? What if it was like 3 panels? It would be the 2 sides. Well, that one kind of needs to avoid everything, doesn't it? Well, both fans of the device right here. I just got to think, chat. Trying to figure out what this thing is going to look like in the end. Those tubes are right there, so we've got to avoid that area so that the 2 tubes can do their job. So if we do 3 sides, I can do 1 there, nothing here, because the 2 tubes are basically going to fill that whole space. And this might move to a different area because there's not really anywhere for me to work right there. Oops, that was the wrong one. There we go. So I'm just kind of trying to like come up with what I'm doing here. Everything on this board attaches from the sides. It would be nice if I could have something here. Well, if that's going to be where the mounting point is to the wall, then I guess I got to avoid that a little bit. Also, all this stuff will compact a little bit more once we figure this part out. So if I need to move, so every component of this thing, geez, trying to put everything together at once, all in my brain, right? Everything at once, every single facet of this design, all at the same time. I am going to be able to move the height of the different components from the side. I'll be able to come out here with one tool, loosen the sides. These are kind of annoying, but I can move it if I need to. If I do the shell for the radiator in the way that I'm thinking, with a top and a bottom like wall, which would make it easy for me to mount the pump, I don't have the ability to get at that from the side. And just thinking about how this thing is going to 3D print. Though if I do something like right at the edge of that, and I have it go all the way out to the sides, I could have it come out just a little bit and go that way. Or I could have something that like has panels that sort of screw to one another. I guess we just have to play with it and see what works. So if I go back over here to the drawing, from over here, and we just start working with this here, which means a new sketch, another sketch in this already completely and utterly overly saturated design drawing. Oh, Jesus. I gotta fix that. When did that happen? Well, okay, it didn't happen there. Oh, every time I manipulate the timeline, it gets weird. This just come in this way? It looks like it just came in this way. All right, so we just need to fix this here. So if I move this thing from place to place, dot here to dot here. That didn't fix everything. If I move it back and then I move the whole thing at once, I think that's the way to go. So I'll go from, move this thing, dot to dot, and we go from dot to dot. There. Well, it's fine in that position too. I don't mind it there either, because this is just planning the size of things. I'm gonna have two fans on this thing that are constantly going. I guess so. And they're both gonna be right there. Could have made that a little bit more efficient. Well, actually, they're not both going to be going all the time. The other fan will turn on when the system is running, because that'll be providing cool air to the main heat-producing element to this whole thing, which is the laser. There's so much water in that reservoir that I don't think anything's going to reach like a saturation temperature ever. But I guess it's just good practice to have something like that in here. I guess we'll start on the one end. Now that the pump is fixed, I can just start with a sketch here, or actually it should be, what elements am I going to have in each of these sketches? I mean, I'll need holes that I can use to mount the plastic to the radiator and hold it up. But I think primarily I'm going to be extruding down this way, right? And then I'll have two walls. Yeah, let's start here. So create a sketch und sketch. All right. We're not worried about the pump really, so I can not look at the pump. We're really only worried about these two elements and bridging them together and sort of matching the language of everything else. For instance, just having like a tab that has the screw holes on it. What size are those? 3. Those are exactly 3. That makes it kind of, I guess 2.5 is, Maker Beam's 2.5? Yeah, I think it is. I think it's 2.5 for Maker Beam. So we need basically on the center line of this thing, we need 2 3mm holes. I guess we'll put them around there so we can start with projecting using the P key. I guess the thing is that plate is like its own like size, so it kind of varies in its dimensions. See that? I guess we'll just plan it for the full size of that, and I'll make alterations as I need to. I gotta get my view back. I don't know where I am. Okay, there we go. So yeah, we'll project this corner and this corner. I think that's really all I need, other than probably the top of this. Although that's, oh no, the sketch is based on the flat plane here, and there's fillets, so you gotta be careful that you're not highlighting the fillets, and I need to project that into the drawing. And how am I getting the center? Center's at 0, but probably will want just that whole solid. Do that. Okay. All right. So we're holding this thing up. How thick are we going to be? I mean, inevitably, this is going to become a square. Or should it? Should it just be like kind of an open frame, I guess? That'd probably be a good idea. It means there's a lot of symmetry and reflected elements that I need to plan for. But if I do 2 bolts on it, then I'll have 2 tabs sitting at the bottom. I need to figure out what my overall dimensions are going to be, where the outside is. And I guess it's going to be based on the outside dimensions of this thing. So let's do another projection, and I'll just take this whole line and this whole line in. So that's our outside area. I guess I'll just do a construction box on each of these. That's not a box. That's a box. Construction box, and that way that gives us our outer edges, our outer corners So if I move any of these elements, it'll sort of move with the radiator. So a rectangle, I'm going to make a 3-point rectangle. I'm going to go from that edge to this edge, and this will be a regular line, because this will be the beginnings of our frame. Bada bing. Okay. So then from that, what is my wall thickness? So I can make like a C pattern in order to extrude this inwards. That's a little sloppy, but I guess that's what we're doing. It's a little bit sloppy, but we can make it work. It's going to be a lot of plastic to just initially frame out, and then I'll need to split it up and part it out and see what kind of attachment points we'll have. Oh God, this is so complicated. Making all these decisions live is very rattling. Make it like 2 millimeter. Oop, no. Two's pretty okay for a sidewall like that. And actually, really what I should do is project this thing. We'll do an offset of 2. Now I've got all of our sidewalls in one, and I can just do a vertical line for this so that I don't extrude the wrong thing. Although technically I could make it a big pipe and just do all the cutouts in the a big plastic pipe, big square plastic pipe. Because yeah, I'll extrude that down sort of away from the camera, and then I'll create the 2 halves of the frame that I need. Well, right now it'll create one big frame. It's also going to create a floor, which I don't think I really need. So we can... Let me think about that. Oh my God, why isn't this thing cooperating? Please. Please, 90 degrees. Can you just... Can I hit shift? No? Alt? Ah, Jesus Christ. Oh no, this isn't gonna work. Let me see. I guess a 3-point rectangle, huh? Why am I doing it this way? Why am I doing it this way? And also, why is that unconnected? Oh, I think it didn't associate. Yeah. Sometimes with these sketch tools, you tell it to do something and then it ignores you. It's like, ah, you didn't tell me to do that. That's not what I'll do. I mean, I guess I will want to extrude that a little bit, but it doesn't need to go throughout the whole thing. And actually, that could be part of where we put fasteners down. I could make a thicker section of it, possibly. Okay, so it's starting to come together in my head. It's just we're going to have this big whopping panel on the one side, and I guess I'll hollow it out. I'll make it have like a big window in it or something, and I can put a piece of like grating over it or something. So what's the dimension on this one? Inspect from here to here. 10 millimeter. So we'll do 2 10 millimeter legs coming off of the bottom of this thing. I'll do a we'll do another 3. This is like all 3-point rectangles today. So that'll be 10. Down to there. Which, oh, I didn't project anything into it. So I'll just do 10 by 10 because we know the size of the maker beam. So now I don't want to see the maker beam because it's actually distracting and it's hard to see any of the details in. So I'm going to get rid of, where is that? There? Nope. Where's the other one? These two. There we go. Very disorganized drawing. It's a total shit show. I don't have a center point on this, do I? Is that attached? Yeah, it looks like it is. The freaking like chamfer on the maker beam is very, very annoying. The snaps will betray you. So I don't really have a center of this square. I mean, it's a square, so I can just take... I mean, I could also just do like a 5x5 construction, or I could do a diagonal line. We'll be machinists today and do a diagonal line, and then I'll just do a 3mm right there. So 3, and then when I need to come back and alter that, I'll be angry at myself for how I've designed this thing. I didn't really need to project this into the drawing. I didn't need that. Oh well. Oh well, LOL. So, well, actually, I could just go from this corner and do 10 by 10. Why is 6.10 by 10? Jeez. Diagonal. And then 3 at the center point. Tree. Bada bing. Okay, so those are the 2 tabs that, you know, you use to move it around, basically. This thing will extrude from there to there. Okay. I'll do a different sketch for the actual, like, you know, the actual side so that I can do, like, details and stuff in a different drawing and it doesn't totally bog down the initial dimensions drawing. So, in addition to that, I'm going to need 2, like, wall pieces that'll go all the way down this thing in order to hold up all the stuff. How is that going to look? How's that going to work? Well, let's put this on paper first and just see what we get. So finish sketch, and then I'm going to take, yeah, from the position of the sketch, I guess, oh, we're blocking one of the holes already. Uh-oh. That's no good. So what is the thickness of these guys over here? It just happens to be the thickness of the flat pack. 3mm. Okay, so we'll take this out 3. So I want to extrude. Oh, God, all these... How do you unproject something from the sketch? Sketches. Hey, you can just delete it. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, the only one that I need is this, which is the top of the maker beam without the chamfer. So my original, that's the location of the sketch, this solid right here, because that's the flat panel on the maker beam profile. But then there's a little fillet and then the other profile. And so I want those outer ones and not the little fillet. So there's a tiny little gap in there that's just insidious. It's evil, evil, evil. I guess being aware of it is sort of most of dealing with it. So I want 3mm for these little legs. I might as well take this stuff. $3mm as well. I'll start our new solid, our new body. Look at it. It's beautiful. So I could just not use those screw holes. I guess that could be the plan. Take that out 3 and then give it like a 2mm block. And that should cover... Or I could take it out to this edge. I think that's a little far. I don't think we need it to be that far. This is basically just like a glorified bracket, right? So I guess we take it 3mm and then I'll extrude this, the whole thing, all of it. And the bottom piece. No, that's not what I wanted, CAD program. It thinks I want a cut operation. No, cancel. Oh, I have to think very hard about that. So I guess maybe I need to unview the body and extrude that. We'll put a pattern on this, of course, to make it look good, but now we can review the bodies, and we can do from the start we can join, and it'll be, start will be from object, and it's this, and then we'll go a distance of 3 millimeters, or do we do 2 for an outer wall? I guess 2 is probably pretty good. All right, so far so good. We have one panel. One panel that's not really going to print all that cleanly because of the height of these offset. So I'm going to have this on support material, and it's going to be gross. Yeah, we're designing stuff that I'm printing in order to create something that'll hold up the radiator on the control panel. Because I've lost control of the project, and for some reason I need to 3D print everything. I got to 3D print my way out of this paper bag. It's kind of a weird panel. I don't know if I like it. I don't think I like it. I don't really like it. Well, we'll deal with that later. Yeah, not my part, but I actually found those latches. I was looking everywhere for them, and it takes a day when we were working on the ABS system for me to actually find that part, now that I've already bought the replacements. I bought the ones that aren't silver. The ones that I have are like anodized black, which looks cooler, I guess. But yeah, the latches are something that I had for a different project, and I wanted to use. So we had to make a 3D model so that I could actually print something out and adapt them to this. And I think they'll do really well because they'll hold this thing down. I gotta check something. I just heard like a squeaky noise, and I'm wondering if that's dog. Wondering if that's dog. No, not dog. Dog should be sleeping. She has the cone of shame this week and next week. She's on all kinds of meds. I think one of the meds actually makes her kind of zonks her out, which is unfortunate. I could have sworn I just heard like a squeaky toy behind me, but I guess I'm wrong. So, I mean, these go all the way out. The only thing, see, the regular Maker Beam hardware I can use with this size, and it turns out nicely. The bolt is just barely old-fashioned. Not quite. I think it's like an anxiety med, and it just keeps her from being too crazy about the itch from the stitches. So this is what that 2 millimeters is like, or 3 or whatever. Yeah, 3 millimeter. This is 3 millimeters on the Maker Beam, and so the bolt is just right up against that. It's not ideal, but you know, this is a longer Maker Beam part that I had to use, and I guess I could try to alter this part in order to take just that 3 millimeter, but I don't. Nah, it's not really necessary. So yeah, I'm gonna reprint this in black, and then we need to make something to hold this up. OctoJ, I had a somebody you banned on one of your bot sprees send me a message like, "Hey, I came in here from a raid, and I guess I'm banned." I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!" So I fixed it. I had to fix it. Finally got back home. The roads are entirely full of twats today. I'm not one of them. I'm here. I'm right here. Maybe they shouldn't have been a bot, he says while holstering his ban gun. Maybe they shouldn't come around these parts. I don't like this. I don't like this. Is there a better way that we could do that? Oh God, inner city of Baltimore. Balmer. Downtown Balmer. I think what I can do is go all the way up to this size with an offset of 2. What's the advantage of doing that, though? There's really no point. I could also have this be a 3-part. Yeah, maybe we need to make it a 3-parter where we have like a bolt in each corner. Well, let's try it. I mean, we're here to try this, so I might as well. So what is the, well, distance to object, this. How do you do two object, and then I need -3. Well, that's 11.025. So hold on, cancel that. This, but not this. And 11 is 11 was the offset with the 3, so then this would be 11 millimeter. 10.98. Nope. And I could print that as it is right now directly from the bed of the printer. So maybe we leave the open side. If I leave the open side, I can just print this. So from there, we need to attach it to the rest of the stuff. There'll be a little bit of a thing right there. Maybe I need to flatten that out so that it prints properly. It'll block some airflow. Oh no. Because yeah, this part I'll have attached to. Well, what do we need it to attach to? I mean, I can make 2 pieces that fit here. Maybe I can bolt it vertically and have just 2 runners that go down this direction, and then have a piece on the other side that's similar and just sort of holds the hardware up. And it'd be a nice big open piece. Yeah. Earned an iron urn. Earned an earn. There's a video of a couple kids from Baltimore trying to say Aaron earned an iron urn with a Baltimore accent, and it's funny. It's a funny video. They were all laughing too. Downtown Balmer. Okay, what the hell am I doing? I'm flailing is what I'm doing. I would like to make another piece of plastic that fits into this, but we probably need to have another piece of plastic that fits into it. And maybe we can have instead, we can kind of avoid the pipes. Like kind of go around them maybe. And have the thing bolt in. So instead of coming out towards us, it'll go in towards the frame rail. So we already know what these 2 things are. I guess maybe I can still use this sketch actually, and I can bring back in the maker beam. What is my glucose level doing right now? I can feel it. CGM. See, the thing is, the name of my Heroku app is very generic. I should have called it like my name CGM. Instead, I called it CGM Databot, which was unique enough of a name that I got it. But it now sounds so generic. It sounds like CGM Databot is like a generic thing that you log into to see your account, whereas this is me. It's just, there's no logins or anything. All right, so we got a sustained hyperglycemia going on here, right? Pretty much for the past 2 hours, so that's correction town. We're gonna need a correction on that. So let me take a look here. What does this thing say I need? Missing 1 gram of carbohydrate. Yeah, freaking right. I'm gonna give myself 6 units of insulin right now. We'll see where that takes me. Eat a chip. No. Yeah, I had French fries with ketchup. That's what this is. I got to deal with that. Night Scout. I had that for my wife. You can't say it any other way. I'm sorry. Yeah, Night Scout's good. I'm running Night Scout with Android APS, the auto pancreas system, which works pretty well. A1Cs were down, my weight was down, everything was looking pretty good. Ketchup is corn syrup in disguise. Yeah, but it's vinegary and delicious. Okay, my only problem is I'm not really going to be able to click the stuff that I want to extrude. Well, let's just, okay, so let me take this, let me hit E for extrude. Click this, click this. We're going to go click some of this. What? Oh, can I not get to it? Sketch is right there. Come on. Oh, that's right. I didn't click on the sketch elements. Whoopsie daisy. Let's get the solid out of the way then. So I'll unview the body. and then I can get to my sketch. So this, and this, and this. Yeah, I guess we'll leave the chop in. We'll go 3 millimeters from, yeah, so start will be object here, and -3. Huh? Object is not visible. Oh, because I'm not viewing any bodies. There we go. There's the other part of our frame, and it looks like it gets a little close. It gets a little close, but we should be able to cut away a little bit of that, and it'll work out. So yeah, there's the other body, and oh look, it's our friend, the gap. Ah, damn it. So I didn't click on that little attaching thing, so I'm gonna Control Z out of here. I'm gonna make sure that that exists over here too. What does it say under bodies? Yeah, they're separated. Ugh. This is what I'm talking about. That little, just the little tiny area of the chamfered, or that, sorry, I keep saying chamfer, the filleted edge. Whoa. That little tiny area that's filleted. Why does that look all weird? I think we're in isometric view. Come on. Got him. There we go. So now it'll only create one body out of that. So I don't have 1,000 of these things sitting around. Man, just because they had to render the maker beam with a slightly soft edge to match the actual profile of the maker beam. This stuff is relatively square, but it doesn't have a sharp edge. It's got that right there. That causes me all kinds of problems. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now I need to actually extrude again, same shape, very carefully. Select all the appropriate stuff. What up, Yonkers? You and you and you and you. That'll be good. And the start is object, this plane, and we're moving -3 and view the body so that the CAD program doesn't yell at me. Look okay. All right, cool. Here's the other part of the frame. So we gotta basically lock these two together. And I think the best way to do that is gonna be by just putting 2 top rails on the thing. And then it'll just hold everything together. I don't know if I'll need to put like extra supports on it or something. That might be necessary. But if I do like a cross cut in the side, I can have a bolt hole. Problem is I wanted to mount stuff to the whatever goes in between these. I wanted to be able to like tape down or just fasten the pump, etc. to something. So I guess I could do like a bottom rail. I could do like a bottom rail on it that screws into place. This one right now, this one will just print like that. So if I do, I guess I'll do like a mount that's a little bit inboard, and we just won't use these screw holes. I'll use these to hold the radiator in place. Just thinking. Und dilly-dallying. Yeah, so if I do that, and I do like a bottom plate, because then I can put the pump on the bottom plate along with the little manifoldy guys, or nah, we'll do it that way. Yeah, that'll be good. This will need a little bit more stuff. And the finish is going to be a little weird, but I think we're in decent shape to do it. So how is the rest of this thing going to look? I'll do those chamfers later on the outside. I mean, this is just there for vanity. It's just there for vanity. Put a logo on it. Or a crossbeam. But if I do like an edge here for the 3mm, so if I take this all the way back to here, and I should probably draw and extrude this instead of doing it this way. This is probably a silly way to do it. But I can do it this way. I can just do chamfer on each one. Each one. Just do it like that. And then put a 3mm screw hole in the top corner. What is the cap head size for these screws that I like to use? I'll take a look in just a second. You know, it should probably be a cut. I should probably actually do this in the drawing, to be honest. Let's take it all the way back there. All right, I'll do this in the drawing. So this would be in sketch number 1.5 billion. 24. Oh my God, this has gotten a little out of hand. A little out of hand. All right, so the screws that I like to use are the cap head computer screw kit. So I just need to get calipers and my screwdriver, or my screw kit. Calipers and a screw kit. There's that. Calipers are on my good desk. Also got to fit a fan in here somehow. That'll be an interesting one. So generic screw from the kit. Any old screw, one of the ones I have 1,000 of. What up, Swee? Very complicated Swee. All right, screw size 2.5. Cap head is 4.3. All right, 5mm cap head, we'll just call it. So I need a 5mm circle in the corner that has a little bit of clearance. So if I just do another 10mm box, and then we'll just make it clean. So I'll do it directly from the corner, and I'll do a sketch box that's 10 by 10. Do a line, diagonal line, and then we'll do a cap head that is 5. The cap head could stick out, but then we need a 2.6, well, 2.5mm, so I'll make it 2.8, and that'll be the slip fit, and then the other one will be 2.5. Maybe, yeah, 2.5. If I go lower than that, there's a lot of pressure, at least from the way that my 3D printer works. It puts a lot of pressure into things. So if we just do that screw there, and then we'll do another one over there. I might have to do all 4 corners, actually, like that. So 10 by 10. Just keeping it simple, you know? Keeping it simple. The object that I'm creating does not exist inside of my head right now, which is a problem. It makes it harder for me to plan out how this stuff is going together and what elements I'm going to need where. 2.8, right? 2.8 and then a 2.5. Yeah. Actually, these need to be solids. Should I do it? Yeah, I should do it all 4 corners, huh? Because if we're going to make a series of things that are going to attach to this, it'll probably be a better idea for me to do all 4. Okay, so we're going to keep it in construction, though. 10 by 10. I mean, I could just throw a piece of maker beam into this too, but then it wouldn't it would block the holes that it would attach to. So maybe not. Maybe the maker beam idea is a bad idea. 10 by 10. By the end of this, we'll have a beautiful solid that we can design stuff in. And then we make some regular holes, put them there, and we do 5, and then we do 2.8, and then we do 2.5. Okay. I guess you can do like an equals command and have them all associate with only one of the holes, so that if you run into the inevitable problem that I've always have, where your screws don't really match the screw holes and you need to just barely tweak something, then you can change one variable and a whole bunch of other variables change with it. I didn't do that this time. I'm probably going to regret it. 5, 2.5, and then 2.8. Cool. Okay. And then, yeah, the 2 lines become regular lines. We'll, of course, chamfer these so that they look a little better. So I can actually go back to this one and just choose that. And I want the outside circle, not the bolt head, not the inside circle. Right, that. Well, that's still going to fit in the corner, so that's pretty good. Oops, forgot one. I missed one. You and you. That'll be slip fit on those 4. And I guess if they're inset like this, then it's not going to affect, like the cap head can exist. Kind of weird that it's so inset like that, but I guess it's okay. Yeah, because then I can just make a like a flat thing with a little attachy thing on it. And let me take this one. Nope, this one. And I'll add this on the outside. With you know, a little selective chamfering and filleting, and I think it'll look all right. This is all just from the top of my head. not really planning it out that much. Of course, we'll need to do a press pull on this to push it away, but let's see here. Now, without the sketch in our way, take a look at what this is. A monstrosity. That's what this is. It looks terrible. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Give it that modern appeal. What's 5 millimeters? I think that's a little much. Maybe we'll keep it at 5. Because I think the cap head will still fall in there, right? Yeah, cap head is still all on plastic, so that's all. Well, that's all I'm aiming for. Let's do these. Chamfer. We're doing chamfers. That's what everything else has. There, 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 and there. And then get these 2. Carefully. When you're selecting a ton of stuff at once, that it starts to become something to watch out for. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Jeez. Let's do something like 2. Two looks pretty consistent with everybody else, right? Yeah, actually, that is exactly consistent. Okay. So good. 2 on all of those. Matches look. Matches look. Matches look. Okay, okay, okay. And then I need to give these inside ones. I believe these are also going to be 2s. Yep. Okay, cool. So that. These get 5s. There's a lot of chamfering that goes on. we like to chamfer around here, you know? Give those a 5. This drawing is such a mess, though. Just as a whole. What do you do in order to... Alt? It's Control. Hit Control and you can highlight more edges. Oh, ooh, maybe not that one. Ugh. 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 Ugh, maybe not that one. Oh yeah, see, this one hasn't been, maybe we don't add these to it. Maybe we leave that alone. It just looks a little awkward when all is said and done, because you got this like hard edge right there. Yeah, this side's gonna look a little weird, but it'll have 2 giant tubes sticking in front of it, so it's not really gonna be that visible. But then I need to do some kind of a solid with that feature on it. That's just, okay, so I think I know what I'm gonna do. I know how I'm going to do it. Yes. So one of them will be like a tray, like a bottom piece. The other would be like a 2 top pieces, or maybe they should join together in the middle, and then I can have the 3 holes, or I could do the holes for the fan, and then I can also do the mounting holes for the small 40mm fan. What up, Pyro? What up? Okay, so new solid that I think probably should span the whole thing. Oh yeah, this is also something that I need to, where's that one? That's all the way back here. We'll just keep that solid because the printer won't be able to handle that. It won't make that clean. What's up? Not a lot, but enough. Enough is up. You wouldn't even believe it. I kind of want to have like a side wall though. I don't know. Maybe I should make this a piece that's vertical on either side. So you'd screw it in the 4 corners there, and then it would span all the way down here. And that way I'm creating a panel where I can tape stuff. Like all the tubes and stuff will be coming out of these blocks. So if I can attach the blocks cleanly to something, that might help. Home automation devices from AliExpress to play around with. Ooh. Yeah, playing around with that stuff in Node-RED, that is a lot of fun. Prepare for fun. Set a course for fun. I'm going to press pull this out of the way. Well, actually, yeah. I'm going to press pull this specifically out of the way. This one and its buddy over here. Yeah, we'll just do that. That'll just be a little nub there, but what that does is that avoids the tube hardware, which I think sticks out a little bit. No, I think it's just about that dimension of that rounded piece. Yeah, now we're staying away from that. Good, good. I mean, this could just do a cosmetic extrusion forward just a little bit, as long as we don't put it all the way up here. Do I want to do that with this part? Because right now, it could print on either side. It's just like a bracket kind of shape. But I can extend that up by like a couple millimeters just to make it look like it's Buddy over here. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so no bodies. Boop. Boop. And then I need the sketch. Boop. And then I need to extrude. Boop. This. Jeez. The problem with putting everything in one sketch is that you create a lot of different feature lines. And if you extrude something simple, you may have to click like 100 times in order to make that thing. So start from body, offset rather, this face, and we're going, what? -4. -6. How close does that get us? Oh, yeah, -4 is probably... Well, I can actually just put a little chamfer on those two and get them out of the way. -4 gets us to the edge of the wood. What did this one do? It was a little bit past the edge of the wood, so where am I? We're -6. We'll go -8. And that again gets us a little bit past the wood. I'm not measuring anything. You can't make me measure anything. It's against the law. There and there. And we just put that in. Or get that out of the way. I think if I stay outside of the little donut here, I think we're good. This is kind of a weird nub on the end, but I'm gonna leave it just in the interest of not worrying about every single facet of this thing. So that'll print with these features on the bed, and it'll print upwards. So that'll be kind of a bit of a rough chamfer, because it'll be layer by layer, just kind of stepping backwards. But it should look okay. And then same deal for this one. So these will be outside edges of the print, whereas this stuff is like an inside edge. Just a little bit of a difference. Were there any holes in the back of that? No, there weren't. You can't mount that reservoir from behind. And I'm not about to go buy any water cooling hardware for this thing. We have all of the stuff that I need to create all these different things in the shop, and I plan on using the shop to do that, not external means. So I want to have a wall on either side of this. What does that mean in terms of the solids that I'm going to extrude? And then how is that going to build up that screw hole? Well, that screw hole is going to be built up in vertical layers, which means that the screw hole is going to have a little bit of a bridge element to it, and it'll be a little bit off round. It'll be kind of ovular. It'll be a little bit oval. But that's good because we want the screw to grip into it. So I guess that's okay. Considering like the block of wood here would represent the bed of the printer for what I'm making. And what the sole purpose of that is to create a, oh, wait a minute, but that would mean that the screw holes here would also print vertically from the printer, which I don't necessarily want, but the whole point of this thing is to hold up the radiator. So if it doesn't do that, like, what's the point? why even bother? But the whole point of having the side wall is that I have something to attach stuff to, because I still need that pump. I need a pump. You get that pump. Where's that pump? Oop, that thing right there. That needs a home. The easiest way for me to mount it is if I have a flat plate and I just put a piece of sticky foam down and then smash this thing into it, and I'm done. That's the idea anyway. If I had like if I did like a bottom plate and a top plate, I would still have space to put all the stuff. RPi CM4? Yeah, I don't know, man. All you can find nowadays is the compute module, right? Everybody's having trouble supplying. I guess I'm going to do a top and a bottom plate, and then everything will attach to the top or the bottom plate. Like, I'll have the fan at the top plate, and then this pump and the 2 distribution blocks will be on the bottom as well. And then I'll have to use tubes to get to it. You can't find the compute module? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. I don't know nothing about nothing, officer. How am I going to cut out the area for the fans? Because it's not exactly an area that I can access. I can extrude up from the plate. Do you have the power supply in the 3D assembly? Yeah, kind of. It's the these 2 Vicor modules. I could only find the half height flat pack, so I had to double them up in order to make a representation of the Vicor power supply. It's a kind of broken and kind of weird, and it doesn't quite look like the right thing, but it is the right shape. The reason it's so far down is that if I need to cool it with a fan, we have room for a fan. Where did I put that fan? It's one of these things. Flat pack, flat pack. That's that fan. No, 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 no. Maybe I don't have it in here. We had a fan in here. That was what dictated the height of this thing. That's construction plane stuff. No idea. Okay, well, anyway, we're working on this part. So bottom and a top plate, right? I guess we'll do let's do the top plate first. Just got some pictures from an old coworker of some quack medical electronics from the 1940s inside an insane asylum's basement. Is that place in New Jersey that all those people go to? All right, so we're gonna take this. We'll connect it. So I'll just do everything. And then I gotta make sure to get this. California. Okay. And then I need to unview these and these. And then I need to go -3 for the initial connection. Hold on. Thinking. Yeah, okay. -3 there. And then I need to unview what I just created and extrude this and this and this little guy right here. And that little one right there. This and this and this and this and this and this. And now we need to take it all the way to the other side. Did I get that inner ring? Yeah, I did. Good. And I need to take it. I actually need to look at this body because I need to start object here, and I need to go 3, but I need it to be a new body, not a join. There we go. Now Need to unview this. So no end caps, and now I just have... Oh, wait, hold on, I need this one too. Just my 2 brackets. I don't even need the sketch. No, I do need the sketch, actually, in order to click on the extrusion elements. Yeah, so now I actually need the body out of the way so I can click on stuff. Now I'm just going to extrude this stuff. Oh, but I don't want that. I don't need it to go up. I guess I can have it go up. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. So those, and now I need to view the body again, and I need to go from object to object, like that, and that'll have a joint. Bada bing. And there's our top plate without the cutouts yet. We're getting there. Probably going to leave this in. I might even give it a little chamfer. Who would you trust more with medicine? A 1923 expert or a 2023 quack that does a lot of Googling? That's actually kind of a tough one, because it all depends on what you're trusting them to do. Boy, that is actually a kind of a complicated question. Okay, now I need a new sketch because we need to cut some stuff out of this, and we need to add the fan object to this accursed 3D model. And the bottom plate is just going to be a big solid plate where I can tape stuff. That'll be kind of interesting. Cool. Yeah, I think we're in good shape, because then I'll just have 4 screw holes here that'll mount the radiator. Not going to worry about the ones on the edges, since I don't think I'll be able to fit them in. But let's make this sketch here. So create sketch, create sketch. And then I need stuff out of the way so that I can project all this stuff. Actually, just take that. And we want these to be slip fit holes, so actually that works out perfectly. That little chamfer that they add to the screw holes is perfect for us, because then we can just... I mean, we probably should have extruded this from these 2 plates. Let me just take a look here. I think it might have interfered if we did it that way. So either way, this gives us the area that we need in order to make the cuts. So we can view, well, what are we going to do? We're going to extrude this, this, and this. So we'll hit an extrude command, and I'll just start pointing stuff out that I would like extruded. Just like that. And then we bring our body back in. Oh, that's not the body. This is the sketches. What am I thinking? Okay, like that. And then I can just knock these out. No. There we go. And I missed stuff. So let's go back to that extrusion. There we go. Punch holes in it. Bada bing. Super easy. It's see, AlphaCool has 3D models of all their stuff on their website, so it's really, really helpful for this sort of thing. Yeah, see, that's just not going to work out. There we go. Now we don't need to look at the sketch. This would be rad plate top, rad plate side, Don't need either of those. And then this one is rad plate left. I don't even know if it's left and right. Rad plate right. This one is rad plate top. Cool. We don't have to get front and back involved in this. So we need to give those a 5mm chamfer. To match the ones on the other side. I have the alien theme stuck in my head, or at least the opening one for some reason. Just the strings part. Do 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 do. So it's creepy. Why is it in my head? My brain works in weird ways sometimes. Some of those little neurons, they like to connect. I don't want them to. What? That's not the recent con lady that fooled the medical industry. All right? That's a different con lady that fooled the medical industry. We need a minimum of fan on this thing. So we're going to put a 40mm fan on it, which will just be like just a little fixed fan in the middle of it. And all it's there to do is to promote any airflow at all, right? It's just there for just any air. This would work in open air. I'm pretty sure this would work just fine. Love the monochrome CRTs in Alien. You got to be careful though, because depending on the copy you choose, they do a little bit of modern SFX magic on the displays, and they make it more congruous with the later Aliens, whereas before it was just, you know, the clicking and bonking of a computer, because the machine used to be loud. Now it's unacceptable if you hear the machine. But they have, you know, the shots of the old CRTs and stuff, and they're very dated looking, which is good. But unfortunately, they go over it with a little computer comb in some of the editions. I need to move this part. So I'm going to go back to where I insert it. And I'm going to select it directly out of the tree so that I move every part of this. So I'm going to take brushless DC pump and turn it 90 degrees. Because we're making a top and a bottom plate now. So this is going to need to go on the bottom plate. So we're going to move it. It's selected the object, and I'm selecting everything. And I just need my freedom to move it. Wait, not like that. Need to move it here. I love the look of the computer room, quote unquote, in Alien, the original. It was such a 70s look that totally got dated, where the association was, well, we have this computer that's doing a lot of electronic things, so every single thing that it does electronically needs to have a light. It needs to go doot, 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 and it needs to have a light. Let's get the pump out of here right now. I'll move it back when we need it again. I'm just going to move the pump out so that we can figure out where the fan is going. And actually, in this step, I'm going to take this guy, and I'm going to move copy. The important part being copy. I don't have access to that tool. Damn it. Cancel it. Okay, so we'll finish this position, and then I'll go back to this step in the timeline. So all my work is gone. Oh no. Now the worst thing that I could do is to right click this and to go roll history or whatever it is, like what is it? There's a menu item for deleting every step after the step that you're on. The relay sounds are dated even in the 70s. Yeah. Wasn't that late 70s or something? What year did Alien come out? But it was, I mean, like, thematically, the point was that he was going into this part of the ship that looks completely different. 78. Yeah, so late 70s. He was thematically, he was going into part of the ship that wasn't industrial. It was something completely different and new and sterile. Create a copy. Bring that out. That'll be our cooling fan for this whole operation. This chicken shit operation. Didn't I just put it? Whatever. We go to this step. Now I can actually position this guy. And let's see, what do we want from this fan? They went for like I think the more recent Aliens. I forget which ones. Probably the ones that are done by what's his name. But I say what's his name because the name isn't coming directly to my face. They called back Giger, and I think that was, he's not alive anymore, right? He's hold on. I have to supplement my brain with Wikipedia. And I can't. Let's see. He's still alive? Nope, died May 12th, 2014. So yeah, the ones that the Alien movies that came out around that era, I think. This could just be because this is kind of anecdotal in my brain, so I don't know whether or not this is actually anywhere near the truth. But they went back to him for some designs, and everything he made was way too penile for them to use. So they were like, well, can't do that. I don't have like a center point on this, do I? Yet. Sensor stopped. God damn it. All right, so I do shoulder sensors, and this is kind of a sensitive time for sensing sensories. So what I need to do is apply a new glucose sensor. I haven't figured out how to reuse them with Night Scout, but Ridley Scott, yeah, there you go. Yes, Scorn is very Gigery. So I have a bunch of insulin active in my system, and I really need to know when it starts to have an effect. I am going to change sensors right now, which means, well, I'll show you guys, but I don't think I can do it on camera unless I show my whole shoulders. Oh my God. How explicit. I guess I can move the face cam, or I can hide appropriately from the face cam. Oh, let me see if I can set this up. I'm not comfortable with that. No, I'm just gonna do it off camera. So this thing applies the sensor. The sensor is it's like a patch. It basically is this piece down here. There's like a Band-Aid style patch that holds onto the skin, and then what this thing does is it rams a needle into your body and then retracts the needle and leaves behind a wire. You can barely feel it. You don't, most of the time you don't even feel it, but that little wire, there's something that clips to plastic on this Band-Aid piece, and that thing transmits via Bluetooth. It's the code on this thing is in order to calibrate properly to the wire, because of variances and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is, I actually have to mute my mic to do this, so you guys won't be able to hear anything. And I would love to show you guys the application process, but you basically just push that button and then everything happens. So I could do this in a variety of different places. I could put this in, somewhere that's a little bit less weird to get to, but I've been having good luck with the shoulders because my phone sits in my shirt pocket. So give me 1 sec. I'm gonna mute the mic. I'll put on a BRB, I guess. BRB tech issue. This is technically a technical difficulty. So do that, and then, I can even put my, where did that go? I had a scene so that you could see the glucose levels. I guess I got rid of it. You guys don't need to see any of that stuff. So I'm just gonna I'll just put on tunes, and so you guys know that the stream's still going. This will only take a second. It's just the setup for me explaining all this stuff to you guys that's the hard part. Oh, it looks like I turned down the volume, but I didn't I didn't hit stop on the playlist. All right, I'll be right back. All right, now I'm back. And I got 2 hours until the new sensor calibrates, and I get readings again. And look at all the medical waste that I generated. Wow, it's so awesome. This is a kind of a tragedy. I mean, these are like, apparently people have like PTSD from having to push the plunger. Because with these things, you choose a site and you have to use that site, right? So like, what if you hit a nerve? That can sometimes happen. Generally, these are super painless though. The Dexcom ones are really good, but this injector, this whole thing is medical waste now. The whole thing. And I go through one of these every 7-ish days. Sometimes a little longer, but you're looking into medical quackery. Well, this is anything but quackery. I think I'm gonna hold on to this code because I'll try to reuse this one. This one went pretty smoothly, so. All this is medical waste. Jeez. Well, luckily trash day is soon. Is my fly up? Yes, okay, good. Reverse engineer it. We've looked at it before. It basically uses a spring, well, a couple springs. It's actually fairly complicated, but it uses several springs to do exactly what the pod does, which the pod just uses a rotating arm to do the injection and the drawback, because if you follow an arc presses forward and backwards, And so they use the forward motion and then they use the backwards retracting motion. The injector, the big injector, kind of the same thing. It's a little bit different in exactly how it's doing it, but it injects a needle that has a bunch of stuff on it, and then it retracts that needle and leaves behind a bunch of stuff. That's all they do. That's all they do. They just put it in this big, weird pod-looking motherfucker. I don't know, just because they thought it looked cool, and since people are paying just ridiculous amounts of money for this stuff, it's what it's. I really wish they would cheapify a lot of this stuff, though, because I want more people to be able to use this technology. There was a lot of controversy around people who are not diabetic getting a constant glucose monitor so that they could do better paleo and stuff like that. And I don't mind that. That does not trigger me in any way, shape, or form. Some people were getting real angry about it. The only time that would make me angry is if people who need them aren't getting them. But I don't think that's the case. There have been no supply difficulties, at least on my end, in procuring this technology. I would love for more people to use this stuff, if not just to have another sensor in their body, but also to bring the price down, bring that huge volume price down on the whole thing. You know, I think that would be wonderful, and the quality of life that it gives you is so much. I wouldn't call it worth the current price, but it is definitely something that, you know, you'd consider. Yeah, normies buying CGM should bring down the price. If one diabetic has trouble procuring it, then I disagree. But otherwise, I agree. The more of these things sell, hopefully the cheaper that they'll make them. Yeah, with these people, these fucking assholes and their medical device pricing, they don't lower the prices. You know, this medical hardware, this type of stuff that I use in order to keep myself going, I don't foresee it getting cheaper, unfortunately. And it is not cheap. Stuff sucks. Which is, you know, when they talk about the price of insulin, they're not talking about the price of being a diabetic. They're talking about just the insulin. That's something that's, you know, marginally concerning to me. All right, I think I'm done positioning stuff here for now. So we're gonna finish this, and I'll jump up to where we actually have the solid. I want to monitor my glucose just to know, but I don't really want to stab my finger every time. I mean, you can also get, oh, this mix is so good. Wait, the music is still playing. Oh, sorry. I'm like jamming out to DJ every day. I freaking love this mix. This goes hard. This song goes harder than it should. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. I love stuff like this. All right, anyway. Sorry, I had the music going and I was just rocking out. We're back. I'm glad you guys like it because I style my show around the stuff as filler background music that's a little bit more interesting than terrible stuff. I want to make like a little outcropping with holes in it so that I can mount this fan. You can get a dog version of the drugs. I don't know if the control over dosage is exactly the same, but when we're talking about medical hardware, medical diabetes hardware, this stuff is fairly fixed in its prices and stuff. It's not really going to be moving anywhere, those prices. If we're going to utilize the whole fan, it might just need to go over one of the ends. So probably over this end, well, actually probably this end right here, because then there's a vertical drop from these two, which might actually become tube connectors. Which means that this little solid right here is probably misplaced. It needs some chamfers, but it's also kind of in the way. So the fan would go up close, and this would go down far. And I would be able to mount it to the bottom. So then we take the fan, move it. Where's my, oh, it's doing point to point, right. Erase. All right, so I'll position that in the center of that, and what I'll do, cancel that move. I'll make on our sketch, I'll do the center position. I guess these are the centers of those curves. Put a line, we'll do a construction line, and I'll just basically tap it to the center of the construction line, and then move it up 3 millimeters. And then we'll be able to project the holes into this sketch. We're using this sketch to make this sketch. So then I can move, as long as that sketch is visible. Oh my God, this is such a mess. This whole drawing is such a mess. Let's go down to here. Move copy. I mean, what the Open Insulin project is working on is getting the DNA correct to do the, I think it's a bacteria, not a yeast, but they basically have an organism whose byproduct of respiration and whatever it is, the byproduct of that organism's functioning is to create the massively complicated insulin protein. They're working on that. They're the Open Insulin project. Oh, I need an actual point on the sketch in order to utilize it. Yeah, cancel. Okay, go to this. Where'd my line go? Oh, it's over there. Oh, never mind. Hold on. Try again. Man, that song is stuck in my head now. I don't even know anything about it. I just know the types of noises that it makes, and I like them. Move copy. First getting the pump and having a good night's sleep. No, it wasn't like that at all. I had to make sure that everything was okay. I also actually don't remember. I don't remember. It was I first got the pump freshman year in college. And it actually screwed with my grades quite a bit because you got to get used to using the pump. Move copy. That up by 3 millimeter. And I guess it's going to screw in from the front. Yeah. The 3 millimeter, and then we will also capture the position. Okay, cool. All right, so now that's in position, and I can look at the stuff again. Without the sketch. Don't need the sketch yet. Well, actually, we are going to need the sketch. Like that. What? What? Huh? Wait a, oh. Oh, I didn't capture the position soon enough. It needs to be captured before the sketch. There. Now it'll be in position when I go to edit the sketch. There we go. That's a tricky one. That one will get you. So I'm going to project these circles in. It'll get you. And then I don't want to look at my Noctua placeholder. Oop. What I want to do is make some 2.5s inside of those holes. I think my screw kit will work for this. I think. I can always drill it out, I guess, if I need to. What just happened? What just happened? No, redo. 2.5. 2.5. Okay. And now I just need an element that's going to attach it, huh? So I guess I could just do something like this. There to there. And then we'll make it 10 is a little big. I mean, the cap head is about the size of that. So let's just do like an 8. So those will just stick out and hold up the fan. There to there. Make it an 8. Make mine an 8. That's a little clunky right here, but I think we can live with our mistakes. Finish that sketch. And then on the extrusion step, I could just add these guys to it. Make sure to get that little slice right there. Wait, those are cutouts. Cancel. Wait, where am I actually making the... What is this sketch? Huh? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we need a new step. We need a new step because I did this in a unique way. So extrude. We'll just have these attach. I was being tricksy and efficient, and now I'm paying for it. Doot, 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 doot. Doot, 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 doot. -3. And a join. Cool. There we go. So now we've just got like a little 40mm fan adapter right there, just in case we need it. And I'll probably include it. So let's get rid of the sketch. And let's take a look at our bodies. It's all coming together. Didn't I do the chamfer on those? I guess not. Very well. Very well. I could have sworn I did. No, I guess I didn't have the plate until here. So I could have sworn I did the chamfers. I'm not going crazy. You're going crazy. Oh, yeah, there it is. Wait a minute. Right there. Yeah, there's not even, like, I don't even need the fan, but I'm including it. Just in case. So only one side gets a fan because it's really just not even needed. It's just so unnecessary. Like when the board is operating and burning like a gift of 100 subs, the fan might do a little bit, but I just want to promote any airflow through this thing at all. The previous version had the radiator sitting vertically and it's still never saturated with heat from the motor drivers. So, I mean, I guess there might be a little bit of additional heat because of the slightly larger NEMA motor that we're using, but I don't know. I've never run into heat saturation issues. While that thing is blocking a little bit, mostly just there'll be open air for everything. And if we ever run into any problems, you know, maybe I can like redesign this and put the fans like right out in front. But I don't really think that's even going to be necessary. I don't think that's really even going to be necessary. I don't really think we're generating heat at all. So but yeah, now I have a nice slip fit for those holes. Those are going to be the slippiest of the fits, but I'll be able to get fasteners in those and hold this thing in place, and it'll hold it up and out. Now I just need a place where I can actually mount the motor. So the bottom piece needs a little bit of bolstering. I guess we can rely on the open ends to allow air to flow in. Because if I do the bottom piece, then that'll just create a pad where I think everything can go. We'll just do that in the same manner as everything else, though. So we'll just take the initial sketch, so the side sketch, and we will unview all the bodies doot, doot, doot. And then I'm going to extrude from the bottom. That, and then I want the little tiny one in here, because this is the one that the screw is supposed to grip. I want this, I want this, I want this. Making it kind of an angle iron is going to be to our advantage. And then I need to extrude from, not that, from this. Really? Oh, hey, man, listen, my skills at fusion are limited, and it just comes from using it. I guess we could just go from this thing, yeah, and as long as it stays as new body. So distance is going to be 3. And it'll be new body, actually -3. -3. That did create a new body? Good. Good. All right, so now don't look at the stuff, because I just learned this stuff by doing, you know, having the right projects to kind of fit your skill level in the program is very helpful. And actually, I'm kind of kicking myself about this one, because if I had done everything kind of if I had done everything on this one kind of militantly and followed all the proper procedures, my timeline would not be an absolute tragedy like it is right now. It's a very difficult to operate timeline. Start. Object. This one. 3. New body. New body, 3mm. Selected the stuff. Yeah. Go. Okay. Now here's the thing: is if I were to do an extrusion from one side to the other as it is right now, it might join these parts with these parts. So in order to isolate it, I have to unview the stuff that I'm not working with and only view the parts that I am. So I'll need to put away anything that has a name, basically, just like that. And as long as I'm not touching any other elements, like as long as I'm not touching this stuff, it won't join in with that. Generally with bodies, that when you do a join command, they tend to kind of want to all become one thing. So let's extrude this and this and this and this and one of these. And I'm going to go from object, distance to object, and select this one. And that's a join. Bada bing. That would be our bottom plate. All right, top plate, bottom plate. It's like a little tray. A little tray that I can mount stuff to. And then let's bring back our buddies. And then this one is bottom plate. So rad plate bot. Cool. Then I can add the chamfers, and then I can do some kind of a decorative framework out of it that's going to just make it a little less plastic. I'm not too keen on printing this whole thing as one big flat plate. I don't really know the positions of stuff inside of this. I'd like to get away with not... Okay, what's going on? I'd like to get away with not modeling the entire water delivery system in this stupid thing, in this stupid project. Yeah, how did I get to where I am with Fusion? I wouldn't really even consider myself skilled. Timeline as record of shame. It's true. I don't know. I think a lot of it was just choosing projects that would take advantage of my strengths in the program. So like the RC car stuff and just things that I wanted to work on. Reverse engineering, solids. I didn't know you could do that. You know, somebody's design of a ball end. Apparently, you can reverse engineer that. You can figure out, oh, they used a chamfer here, and then they used a fillet here, and then they have this to this dimension, but since the machining is off by a little bit, it's meant to be this size, and so you plan it to be, blah 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 blah. You kind of can organically come into all these different things, including Groovy's comment. You can organically sort of find all of these design elements that people typically do, and then they become part of how you work with this sort of technology. That's basically how I got here, and it's what I do with electronics too. So, should we do what was our style? Our style over here was slots. We did slots we did horizontal slots. I could do vertical slots for this thing. Well, but those slots were notoriously weak, so I only want to do like a couple. Or I could make a hex pattern like we did with this, or a triangle pattern. I guess if we're doing triangles, I could do triangles on this. So I guess I can take this solid and I can put it into the tool. That'll create an infill, and then I can use that as the, okay, here we go. I gotta spool up this program. I mean, or I can just leave it as a flat pad. That makes it a particularly difficult 3D print, though. It makes a lot of material out of the thing, especially at 3 millimeters deep. It'll probably do infill for that, though. I mean, it really does give me a nice place to mount things, but I guess if I do like a grid, I could see myself zip tying stuff to that grid. Yeah, okay, so let's do that. Okay, so that brings me to utilities. There is a utility that allows you to install utilities from GitHub pages, and I would suggest that you guys get that if you're using Fusion 360, or it's an add-in. GitHub to Fusion 360 is what I'm talking about. What that allows you to do is to find people's scripts. Or I don't think add-ins you get from the store, right? Yeah, because that's where Spur Gear. No, add-ins. Fusion Filler is one of the add-ins that I put in there using the script GitHub to Fusion 360. That way, you can just paste the GitHub link. You don't have to do the complicated instructions of putting like files and folders and stuff. And people on GitHub that are doing Fusion plugins are doing cool stuff. So this is a plugin. You find that on the App Store, the Fusion App Store, because everything has to have a frickin' App Store now. And then you can install that and then find Fusion Filler, which allows you to do 3D printer style infills in stuff. I mean, this thing, it's kind of sloppy the way it works, but when we use it, we usually have a good time with it. God, how many bodies are we up to? So this is Fusion Filler. I don't know which of these buttons does the right thing. I'll try that one first. So we choose a body for infill. That's going to be this. Although technically it should only be the bottom plate. I guess it does the whole body, which is kind of a problem. Infill style, triangles. Create shell or direct cut. I think direct cut doesn't work. So major diameter. Diameter of my triangles. I want them to be, decently large. I don't want any outer shell. So can I do 0 millimeter? And then we can do like 4 millimeter. So much innuendo. Am I accidentally... I've been credited as like being super smart in like my language, the way that I put out innuendo and stuff. And like the honest truth is that I just don't know what I'm saying. I just don't know. I don't know. Rib thickness, 2 millimeter. Now this is probably going to generate a huge error. Yeah. So that created a huge error, and then we've got this like excess sketch So I guess I'm just going to Control Z until we get back to a sane spot. Okay, yeah, we're in a sane spot. Okay, that one immediately errors out. All right, cool. I wonder if I need to make another body that has the appropriate dimensions. Let me take this and I'll extrude it -3 and we'll create a new body. Because that's where I want that feature. So body 46 is now our operating theater. Choose this. So we've got the one body selected. So our major diameter, 5mm. Shell thickness, nothing. We're not doing a shell. The ribs, I want them to be 2mm. And I want this to be triangles. There we go. Oh my God. Why? Wait, why is there so many steps? Wait a minute. What are you doing here, bud? Oh boy. This is going to be a Control Z. Ah, you son of a bitch. Did it undo itself? Okay, well, that was fun. Neat. How are we going to do this? I mean, we've got our own body for it. Oh wait, we don't anymore. Wait, what? Ugh, screwed this. Go -3. Create a new body. And then, I mean, I wonder if we should just put it into its own document. Filler. This guy right here. Yeah, use your settings, whatever you got already. Oh dear God. Okay, this is fighting us. I guess we're just gonna get out of this. Save our document. Huh, what else can I do here? No, I want to do this. Hold on. I refuse to accept defeat. I mean, I could do one of those bubble fill things. We have that plug-in. That was a fun one. That was a fun one, right? God. What was that one called? Parts for CAD? No. VORNOI. VORNOI. Hello? Run on startup is selected. Where's my VORNOIs? Is there anybody? Oh, there it is. Why don't you go ahead and VORNOI this? Oh, it needs a sketch. Okay, cancel that. We don't have a bottom sketch. Create sketch. Finish that sketch. There, now we have that. So if we take, oh God, we do the VORNOI on this thing. Let's not view that body. There we go. So we do VORNOI on that. Profile size, width and height. VORNOI editor. Oh, this is opening up a weird separate window. Here we go. I mean, just relax. Don't relax. Nobody relax. That one's going to be a little tough. Nice big holes, or do you guys like big holes or small holes? That's unacceptable. That didn't do anything. That's going to be hell for the 3D printer, though, isn't it? It's like gravity is affecting the distribution. It's like shifting it over, too. I don't like that. We need one that looks kind of even. Ugh. It's more consistent the smaller I have them, but it's also a little weird. If I do just like a window on the inside that has the VORNOI. Okay, let's close that. So edit this sketch. Can't even see this sketch. Everything's in the way. You can't even edit it. I don't know where it is. Can I go from down here? No, not really. I just need to get all this stuff out of the way. So I need to go down here. Well, can I right click it and do, there you go, show hide. Oh no, but it only does the one element of the whole assembly. So I need to find the radiator. I could click it, then it highlights it, and then I can undo that thing based on what it's highlighting. Don't even need that. Well, but if I do that, then I have to hide the rails too. All right, I guess this is enough that I can edit stuff now. So I'm going to take, actually, if I take this whole thing and I do an inner offset of like -2, -3, yeah, that'll give it enough space to operate in. The trypophobia plugin. Man, people on the internet get weirded out by stuff too easily. Here, let's delete the solid one. You need other features. Sketch 26 should be, it's fine. Can I re-reference the sketch? I'll just make another one. Stupid thing. Delete. Create sketch. I guess it created a sketch on that other body, which is not ideal. And I'll just do a little 3mm offset on this. No. That. Sketch. Sketch. There we go. There. There. -3. That's all I need. Finish. And now we go back to VORNOI. Go to that sketch. And then we do to sketch size. Go to the editor. There we go. So now we got a little bit of a reduced area, but we can fill this and it can have weirdnesses on the edges, but it'll still have a border around it. Ugh. The no relaxation thing is pretty. I got to make sure that it has meaningful width on the cells, though. So that the 3D printer can actually navigate this. That doesn't get very close to the edge. I guess the less relaxed they are, the more variance in shape you'll have. They all seem to be gravitating towards hex. I want it to look pretty random. That's too much relaxation. That's pretty okay. I think let's think about that. A little bit uniform, but it is kind of a uniform space. Let's try it. This is where it breaks my computer. Oh, good. Right in the right spot. Thanks, plugin. You really did a good job on that. Really, really appreciate what you're doing here. So I need everything to go away. Oh my God. In order to properly select this, because I think it'll select a bunch of other stuff. Why did the selection change? Why did my selection type change? Oh no, that's sketch elements. I must have hit like something that changes it. No. What changes that again? I forget what you need to go to. There's like a selection type menu somewhere. No, not that. Not that. Top right next to finish sketch. Huh? No, I don't know what I'm seeing. I like how I did that and it selected literally everything in the drawing. That's nice. Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, thank you. Left. You're like top right, and so my brain automatically said, hey, it's to the right. And don't look at anything to the left, no matter what. It's like, wait, hold on a second, brain. I don't think you got this. So many things. My problem is it's also selecting origin when I do that. Damn it. I have to like very carefully control. Oh, good. The selection, look at how it's changing as I zoom in and out. So I need this to be on one thing. There we go. I could probably use the move tool. Near enough that I'm not going to notice. Jeez, what a piece. Oh, good. I need to select them all individually. That's nice. I like that. That's a fun thing. I guess I probably could remake the whole thing instead of cutting it with the VORNOI, but I'm in the mood to click a lot of stuff, I guess. This is just to make the panel look a little bit more interesting. That's all the purpose of this. Just to make it look a little bit more interesting and to keep my 3D printer from having to have a hot lunch with this print. We finally got to use the VORNOI thing too. That's an old meme. That's an old meme. That one should have run its course by now, but people are still saying it. Cool. Oh, those are things that I didn't click unview with. Okay, so we are out of this. We've created the thing. Now I just need to put everything back in. Here's all the stuff that I've built for this thing. Now the sketch, I don't need to view any sketches. And now I need to go through all the stuff that I've designed stuff around. And you can see just by looking at the bodies, all the different elements of this this design. I've created a lot of solids in order to put this thing together. And I really didn't mean for this to be a comprehensive 3D model. It's just grown into one. I would suggest that if you can, be very careful about when you lax up the rules for your 3D design. The process you use, you probably mostly should just be following it like militantly, because yeah, if you slip up, you'll end up in some trouble. Really, I mean, I could have just done a cutout of the bottom there. I put this in here just so I had something to zip tie to if I needed to, or just something that the Velcro can stick to. I don't know whether or not this pump will be mounted directly against that back piece. I would rather it be mounted to like the top of the bottom. So it's possible that I could, I don't know, tape it in just right so that it's attached to both of them at once, which will make it, like my memes, like I like my games way past when they're relevant. Hey, patient gamers rise up, man. Patient gamers are the best. Get all the cheap deals on everything. It'll give the printer something to have fun with. It can bounce around on this and make it cool. And then, of course, I've still got the 10 millimeters behind it in order to run wires and stuff. All right, so. Oh, everybody has a different number for viewers. Everybody's got a different number. Because yeah, I don't know if I plan the distribution blocks and the pump mounting to this spot, I'm gonna run out of space very quickly, actually. But I guess I'll just we'll figure that out in meat space. So those are all ready to go. All I need to do is move all that stuff to the printer. Oh, that's good. Good for that. Bad for stream because I'm done. I'm done the initial design. Oh, I have something viewed that I shouldn't have over here. One of the solids. One of my bodies. Those are the new feet. Mounts, radiator plates. Where's the body 6? There we go. I noticed some Z fighting going on. Yeah, that's, I mean, like for Generation 0, apparently that game was sort of panned on its release because there were all kinds of bugs and stuff, but I didn't start playing it until they patched it up and they made it run nicely. So like when I got to Generation 0, I was like, hey, this game is actually, it fucking slaps. Like, this is a good game. We had a lot of fun playing it, played it for a long time. Yeah, being able to move all this stuff into CAD space and sort of plan it out and put it together like this has been very, very helpful. This is going to be where the problems are right here, attaching this. And then I'm probably going to have a little bit of trouble organizing things inside of this chamber to be proper. So, yes, I've heard the joke a million times. Yes, it is Dragon Ball Z fighting. I guess, oh no, I can't. I was thinking I could have this go directly against the plate, but I do need room for those latches. I need room for those latches, and I need a little bit of extra space behind this because there have to be quite a few tubes going in and out of this thing. I got wire hole there, and I got tube hole here. Tube hole and wire hole. I've been frustrated with the amount of progress that I've made on this project lately. This is going to be a big step. Getting this 3D printed, I think that'll be kind of a big deal. I think that'll help out immensely in terms of the progression of things that need to happen in order to burn the subs together and running and functioning. We finally have sort of bespoke chambers in this thing. We can try to get this part up and running. We can see what the soda bottle plastic looks like behind these things. See if that'll do it. So let's work on that. Bada bing. Yeah, so the next steps, by the way, to get this thing into my, to get this into the design is basically I take the solids from Fusion 360 and you just need to right click, save as mesh, don't touch any of the settings, and then save it. And what I do is I save it to a temporary prints folder, and then I can drag and drop that into Super Slicer. That'll slice it, send it to the printer, get it printing. You know, I think all my settings are here. So let's open up Super Slicer. Yeah, let's go to the desktop, and I'm gonna find. I put all this stuff on the desktop. So Super Slicer is here. Start that up, and then let's get the folder temp prints, which is also on the desktop. So all I need to do now. Do I trust the printer to print all of these in one go? That would be a long print. I've had pretty good luck with the printer lately, though. Let's see what Super Slicer says. Yeah, I know. You do it as one at a time piece. I know, but I want to tempt fate. No, you're probably right. You're probably right. I can't trust the printer to do all this at once. Plus, my bed has cracks, so. Any reason for Super Slicer? No, usually it's like Fatanon comes in and starts swinging his dick around, and I just don't. I don't have the heart to tell him no, and so I'll end up doing whatever he suggests. I guess there's a lot of good features in Super Slicer. That's pretty much it. I want to do the bottom plate first. So this is the front right corner of the printer with the star in it. I want to turn this. Why is Z -5? That's weird. I guess it's wherever this thing considered. Anyway, 90 degrees. Boop. Oh no, it's off for the. So I'll just do it right there. Where do you get such detailed models of everything? I'm doing some personal projects in CAD. It'd be very helpful. Use accurate models of off-the-shelf products. Yes, such accuracy. Yes, so accurate. So the main source. You didn't even sub. Why would I give you advice? No, oh, Mesh Twitch. Hey, thank you for the 8 months. No, so here's the smart money. So for off-the-shelf products, a lot of stuff that I get is from GrabCAD. So GrabCAD looks like a generic industrial website, but that's not GrabCAD. GrabCAD was bought by these people, so they put their storefront up front. What they didn't do was get rid of the library, because the library is one of the super duper 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 awesome things about the internet, is that a bunch of people working in CAD software have decided to put their projects and stuff all in sort of a central place. Now, there's a couple sites like this, right? But GrabCAD's really good. I mean, just like knock to, and boom, you've got a whole listing of about 10 billion things, right? Whether it's adapters people made, or a boat, or an actual model of a knock to a fan. Now, you got to sift through that and find the good ones, right? You got to find the good ones. Ooh, look at that. Neato, look at that hot end. That's a hot end right there. Those two fans are probably extremely loud. I probably would hate this one. Anyway, that's where I get the bulk of this stuff. The things like the radiator, AlphaCool has these radiators on their website. They have every product in 3D models. The incredibly detailed reservoir model is obviously something that I made myself. The box that goes around this thing, that was modeled by me, which is why it looks so rudimentary. This, I believe, came from Noritake e-tron. I think they have 3D models on their websites. That, or we got it off of GrabCAD. It kind of looks like a GrabCAD. The previous controller I actually modeled in Fusion and put in here, but then we have such a common 3D printer driver, the SKR Mini, which was sent in by Twisted Sister. It's so common that I went on GrabCAD and I found it. So a lot of this stuff is just GrabCAD. These models are from the website, or like a supplier of these. No, wait, no. These are from McMaster-Carr. These are McMaster-Carr. This is GrabCAD. This is also GrabCAD, but it's the wrong size, so I had to double it in order to get the right size. So that's it. I mean, these two are GrabCAD, but they're not precisely what I have. They are a close enough approximation of the latches that we're using. So that's how a lot of these things go, is I kind of sift around and find the best models for stuff and then punch it in here as minimalistically as possible, and then find products that match things. Because there's only, you know, there aren't 10,000 miniature 12-volt pumps. Somebody is probably going to work with one that matches a product that you can buy. And so we found the 12-volt pump puts out enough water that it can get all the way to the laser. What is going on here? That it can get all the way to the laser, and then I found a model that approximates it as close as I can. Yeah, you don't need to like marry your calipers, and the only problem is when you get a 3D model that's meant for like a game, like the Mercedes steering wheel. I was hoping to find a 3D model of it so that I could get that contour of the airbag and design around that. I wasn't able to find anything that was any level of detail above a game steering wheel. Let's see if we can find it. Actually, that's a good little challenge session. Because yeah, from here, let me just power up the 3D printer and get that all squared away. I'll get this thing to start printing. I heard clicks, so that means the BL touch isn't stuck. Let me see here. So, how do I thing? I just hit slice now. And we're only one material, and I've already got black loaded into the printer, so this is raring to go. This is ready to go. I guess the theme, I didn't mean for that to happen that way, but I guess the theme of Burn the Subs is black. So I'm making sure all of my solids on the outside of the thing are black. I guess that's good for something that sits next to the thing that has little lights on it. So, okay, so once I do that, this thing will send it directly to Octoprint, but I need to prime the printer. You son of a bitch. That's right. I remember I have high security on my printer for some fucking reason. Why do I have such high security on the printer? I guess they require you to have a login, and then all the IT people go, that's a good thing. You got to make sure to have a login for your Raspberry Pi. And it's like, dude, nobody is breaking in to, first of all, my network, my subnet. And second of all, nobody's going to like operate my printer remotely. So stupid. Clipper. Restart the firmware. Then the screen's going to turn on the printer. Yeah, I need to get my Authenticator app out. BL touch down. Heard a click. Up. Heard a click. Okay, cool. So now I can just go back to Super Slicer. And I don't do anything with the bed of the printer. Using PETG and a coated plate, I've got it in such a state where all I need to do is clean the print off of there, like the borders and stuff that have been created already, and I just hit start. I just go. We're just ready to go immediately. So now that's going to home while everything heats up, and it'll measure the bed while everything heats up. What were we going to look for over here? Oh yeah, Mercedes steering wheel. Steering wheel. Yeah, so of course there's going to be 10, 100,000 billion steering wheels, but we're looking for a specific one because I need the contour of the airbag cover. So let's narrow it down. Mercedes steering. Hey, would I spell that wrong? Mercedes. Do I not know how to spell? Okay, I can spell. Steering. H-W-H-E-E-H-L. Wheel. Steering week. Oh. Well. Yeah, so this is the state of things when I left off. It was like, here's this wheel that doesn't quite match the actual contours of the thing. Like, this is the wheel that I have, but the model is not quite the right dimensions in the front, and it doesn't include the cutouts for the airbag. Really frustrating, actually. Really frustrating. It just doesn't have it. That certainly isn't it. It's kind of a complicated curve that needs to be followed in order to print this, in order to make a cover for the center of the steering wheel project. I guess I could have chosen like a multi-$1,000 wheel that has slightly better features, but it's what it's. I have what I have. Mercedes airbag. Nope. Airbag cover. Yeah, nah, fat chance, huh? That's it, basically. That's what I need. I think that maybe. But you're not getting one of these for any reasonable price. I don't think that's it. That's not it. Actually, it's in view right now. Oh wait, no, it's in this view. Oh, it's sort of crushed. I can't see it behind chat. Yeah, none of the 3D scan stuff really worked right. We had a lot of trouble with that, and I guess we could have used photogrammetry. I'm in such a complicated backdrop here that it's tough for me to do stuff like that. I think maybe using photogrammetry might have been a way to like kind of get a good idea of it. I think a cleaner way to do it is just going to be to reverse engineer the complicated curve that it is, instead of trying to get it from a scan, because the scans always have this like intense amount of noise on them that's just kind of hard to get over. At least scans we tried. That, or I can just find a Mercedes that's gotten into a car accident and sneak into it like a little goblin and steal their shit before they know what happened. Where's my steering wheel? Oh, ugh. Are those just dirty, or are they pre-dirty? Ugh. And if I was doing that, I would also scan the LIN bus to get the signal that dims the lights, because I would love to know that one. If anybody has a buddy with a Mercedes who will let you release their airbag and plug into the little, oh look, projectiles. Let you get into the little 3-pin connector. Take a recording of you dimming and undimming the, oh my God. Private custom blue leather carbon fiber. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come up with something for that at some point. Yeah, there's that picture of the lady or person, I guess. I don't know who did it. That's my car. Wait a minute. Or not quite my car? No, that's a Mercedes. It's not my car. Weird. They censor the center. Anyway, yeah, there was that person who glued like ocean rocks and crystals and stuff to where the airbag comes out, and basically turning it into a claymore of sorts. There's a lot of force behind an airbag popping off. For when I did all the stuff with the steering wheel, I actually netted myself to, well, it was an extra BMW airbag, because I bought, what did I do? I don't remember. Why did I end up, I bought a different BMW wheel and I swapped that into my old car so that I had my nice wheel on my new car, which is why I have this sitting around the shop. But I can't disarm this one. Oops, hold on. I'm getting caught on stuff. I have this sitting around the shop. How did I net myself an extra airbag, though? I guess with the purchase of that other wheel. But yeah, I have the Monbazu wheel. So I could put this on the wheel setup and we could have the Monbazo wheel just without the steering wheel controls, I think, because it'll probably be different, different digital signals. Put that back. I gotta put this in a special place so that it doesn't destroy my shop if it goes off with static electricity. The airbag that I had, I actually disarmed it. I took it apart to the point where the detonators, I have the 2 detonators, and I put them in an ammo case. So that's rendered safe forever. Because it gets staticky in here at times. I don't want that thing going off. I had that somebody used a few Xbox 360 Kinect devices to do some 3D scanning. Yeah, I did that. I tried that. There are programs out there that you can use a Kinect, and you can either, I think, move the Kinect around the thing you're scanning. Scan the whole lab with mine. Yeah, you can move the Kinect around the thing that you're scanning, and you can get kind of a cool, like, 3D scan of the object. But the stuff that we were getting was just insane. It was so noisy from the Kinect. The cool thing that we did with the Kinect is I set it up as another webcam, and you could move the 3-dimensional webcam angle, so you could get an angle from a camera that's not there. It's kind of cool. It was a neat little cyber display of the shop, and I should probably bring that back because that was fun. I like that. But again, it's too messy in here for me to show it off like that. It's too messy. If I had a cleaner setup, it would be kind of a cool view. One day, I keep telling myself, one day I'll clean up. Yeah, iPhones apparently have sort of native capability and a user base that's interested in that kind of stuff to get sort of at least the beginnings of a 3D scan out of it. And that's all we really need, too, because all we really need is like something that I can plan that, reverse engineer the contour of the airbag. What are you printing? Well, we just put this together. We took the 3D model of my Burn the Subs control panel, because it's not in the background of the shot right now. It's in the back of the face cam shot. You can see there's a block of wood on my wall, and that block of wood is basically the target of a powerful blue laser. That board is my subs board. That board is going to have upon it burnt the names of people who have subscribed to my channel. So we're putting together the control box. The control box is holding up a whole bunch of different hardware, and this is the one piece of that control box that we have not printed anything out for. I thought it was going to be an area that I could just do, but unfortunately, we couldn't do it in the physical world. Yeah, this is a new board. So anyway, what this specific thing that we're printing right now is it is the back panel of a couple different plates that are going to hold up the radiator. And there's nothing too clever going into this. We're just doing the basics here. I'm just doing it in such a way that we put our best foot forward. So every single part of this friggin' design has been messed with in terms of modeling and 3D printing. I tried to keep as few 3D prints in this area, I guess I should say, but it didn't really work out. How long did it say how long this would be? Hold on. How long is this going to take? Oh, we'll be done this in no time. Well, it's 48 minutes left, so I don't know, maybe not. Each of these being under an hour is nice, though. That's a nice amount of time. All right, well, are we doing another? There's another Windows update. What the heck? Oh, what the fuck? There's another Windows update. There's the notification at the bottom of the screen. What about my other one? Nope, doesn't say over there. This isn't the one that puts Edge back on the desktop, right? Oh, there it is. You son of a bitch. What are you doing there? Why are you back? I told you to leave. Ugh. Fucking Microsoft boundary issues. Yeah. the move to PETG. Yeah, hey man, do you want Edge? I said no. Okay, here's Edge. What? Why are you like this? Why are you like this, Microsoft? Microsoft. So, the move to PETG. Very, 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 very good. It's great. It's really wonderful. Except, there's a lot of growing pains with PETG. It takes a dedication and a poring over of all your settings in order to get things to a point where PETG is sort of easy goes. And one of the biggest things that you can do with PETG is constantly testing your bridging settings. My temperature just keeps going up and up and up. I keep raising the temperature on everything. And I think part of that is that my temperature sensor is a little bit offset from the actual build plate. So I think I'm probably getting, even though I'm setting my temperatures higher, I think I'm probably, at normal PETG temps on the bed, but getting things to stick, add heat. Removing stringing. The pullback distance needs to be altered, which is why I don't think a Bowden tube lends itself well to PETG. Although people with Bowden tubes do it. They use them. They use PETG with Bowden tubes. So direct drive has helped me alleviate a lot of those growing pains. But once you get those stringing settings down, the first layer I have slightly squishing. Some people preach on the first layer just kind of being laid down. Like you almost just lay the filament down on the print bed. I don't like what that does to the first layer. You can see here that my first layer is like glass. But once you get that first layer down and you get it to stick, and those are all the struggles you're going to have, it prints brilliantly. You just need to plan around it too. Like for instance, I absolutely avoid support material at any cost because PETG is so sticky. The support material needs to be broken off with like a sharp wood chisel. Otherwise, it's not happening. But yeah, those have been my little struggles with the material. Otherwise, though, it's been great. Best part of the transition of a Windows release from supported to unsupported, since it's a now a retro OS, it leaves you the hell alone. Oh, yeah, I guess that's good. Still in growing pains with PETG. Have not had a good print yet. Oh man. Are you doing test blocks? Because I found test blocks to be the most important things to do. Just the little squares and triangles and things. But yeah, those settings represent many, many hours of quote-unquote gameplay on my part. They represent a strong effort. Boy, is this going to be solid? Hold on a minute. Well, I guess it's only a 40-minute print. It's only a 40-minute print. I want to check in on what Super Slicer seems to think it's doing. This is the sidewall size, the 2 millimeter and 3 millimeter sidewall size for everything is one of the things that I just settle on with this printer. Yeah, it looks like they're all just solids. It's all solid layers. This thing's going to be obscenely strong. Printing. Out of stuff with PLA, but I don't think that'll survive becoming part of the car's interior. Yeah, keep it out of the sun. But yeah, we used PETG on a bracket for my friend's car radio. And I think at like maximum Arizona heat, he's not in Arizona, I'm just using him as an example, you could probably see close to softening temperatures for PETG if you really push the limit. Cars see a very, very, very broad range of temperatures. However, it's like 80 C or something. What is that temperature again? The glassing temperature of PETG? It's pretty high. It's pretty much above and beyond what we would be seeing in a typical application. I'm disappointed though that I didn't get a water seal with the PETG. I got interlayer leaks. And I guess one way to get over that is to get that sintering process all worked out. We never got the print to properly seal up. So the solution for cooling the laser is going to be wrap a tube around it, and then I'll have like a shell that I guess I can bolt to that, a 3D printed shell that'll bolt to that and hold up the laser. That's just going to be how we have to do it. And in order to bend the tube, I had to look up a bunch of different stuff. In order to bend the tube, what I can do is fill the tube with water and then make sure that that water is under a decent initial compression. And then I can bend it around the form and then cut the tube. But in order to get the water and stuff in there, you squish the tube and then solder it. Okay, so anyway, 40-minute print. I'm not going to sit here for the whole 40 minutes and, you know, stream the entire thing going together, because there will be another 10 or so minutes at the end of the print. By the way, if you do make the jump to PETG, the warning that I'm going to give you, the important warning, is as follows. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm actually going to warn you. The PETG is so sticky that it pulls up glass fibers with it. So if you have a metal bed, that's fine. Just be careful that it doesn't warp when you remove your print. Or if you have a glass bed, glass beds are great. They're really wonderful. It's a very flat surface. They're cheap. You can print PETG all day on it, and it sticks to it too well. So you can do a couple things. You can use hairspray as an interstitial material, something that's water soluble like Elmer's glue, or well, what I have is a coated surface, and the coated surface is so that it's not quite as sticky as glass. Even with that, it will pull up glass fibers. And what I mean is that it'll make these barely perceptible little divots because it'll pull up glass. Yeah, gonna use the scuffed one for PETG? Don't. No. Here's the suggestion, and it's something that you have to follow militantly. That's the reason that I have pock marks in the middle of my glass. It's a disposable surface, right? You're just going to have to get another one. It'll be $35 down the line that you have to spend. But in order to alleviate that in the meantime, during all the hot and cool cycles, you need to make sure your printer's cool before trying to remove the print. Spritzing it with Windex helps because the Windex will dry quickly, and then the expansion coefficients of the two materials are different. It'll help pop it up, and a little bit of the detergents that are in Windex will kind of get in between the two things. So if you really have to rush Windex, you can try. I have pulled up glass fibers while trying to Windex apart. So if you wait until the whole thing reaches room temperature, your print will just fall off the bed. I've been considering putting this entire thing at 45 degrees so that when everything cools down, the print will just fall into a basket. That's something you can do. Already doing that with PLA? Yeah. Well, with PETG, you do it so that you don't ruin your print surface. Oh, it's horrible. But anyway, I don't use anything on the print bed. Every now and then I'll clean it, Windex, and wipe it. But everything sticks perfectly. So I've had a wonderful time with PETG. You just have to get to the point where you're able to do this stuff. Yeah, just patience with PETG goes a long way. Because also, if you pull your part off when it's still too warm, you're going to warp the part. I've had that happen a couple times too. But yeah, that whole thing, get the settings right, stringing, bed temperature, nozzle temperature. I do temperature towers, and right at that point where it gets to like its deepest sheen and the nice deep color out of the PETG, just a little bit of a shiny plastic color, that's where I print. That's the temperature I go for. The bed temp, I have it locked at 90 degrees, but my bed is different than yours. The temperature sensor is in a different spot. So bridging tests so that you can get rid of stringing. Or no, stringing tests, sorry. They have little like triangle towers that you can print that'll show you the strings, and so you'll need a big retraction setting. That, no fans, and then all the bed care stuff. That's it. That's PETG. That's it. And then you can have a silent printer like I have. The only noise it's making is a little hunk noise that the motor makes when it retracts. Thinking of adding a cooling fan for the bed after the print. That's something that like I would love, because you know we kind of go a little crazy here sometimes, right? And I think it would be really fun to make a printer. And if I had a bunch of 3D printers sitting around, I would love to make one with a water-cooled nozzle and then also a water-cooled bed, so that you would flip a valve at the end of the print and it would run water through the bed and cool it off as fast as possible. And then the part pops off. Got some orange PLA that prints more string than part. Jesus, are you sure it's PLA? Yeah, I want to water cool the bed of a printer. I think that would be hilarious. You'd have a bunch of like 90-degree C water though that you'd have initially in the bed when you flip the valve on. I don't know what that would lead to too. I wonder if you'd warp your parts. Probably would. It says PLA on it, turned up out of nowhere, and I didn't order it. You got a mystery print filament. That's a little weird. That was from what's the Cyano Cat sent in, right? Didn't he send you a bunch of filaments? All right, I think I'm done, because this is drawing out. This is just going to be like a 3D printer stream from here out. We do need to work with the LED circuit board, but I need to cut out those pieces of plastic out of my Wawa iced tea. So that's what I'll work on tomorrow, and these will be good at diffusing light. I mean, they're already diffusing it pretty nicely, huh? These will diffuse the light from the LEDs and give us nice smooth colors. And then the edits that I did to this part, which I do dual filament print, unfortunately, API didn't come through so well. But we can still test to see if this looks right with the soda bottle plastic on it, and I'll have to print it again. I did a press pull on the edges of this thing so that they're moved out a little bit more. So nobody has this address. It's a mystery. Oh, geez. I mean, I'm really ticked off, actually, because this print went extremely well. This one printed really, really well, except for a crucial spot. One crucial spot. That's it. Sad. It's sad. I could probably try to like cut it and make it look right, but just another print would be fine. It'd be possible to put the temperature on each color shade area on the heat cam. See, I can do that. I can. The Lepton 3.2, whatever I have, has all that information in it. But I don't know how to make that into an overlay. I don't know how to get that data out of the camera. It's on a pure thermal webcam module, which has an STM32 something. Has a pretty powerful microcontroller running the webcam stuff, which is why we get a good frame rate. I mean, ITAR is the reason the trade and export regulations are why we don't get an amazing frame rate out of the camera. And actually, there's some better thermal cameras out there now that you can strap to your phone. But anyway, all the data for the coloring is there. I don't know how to get to it. I probably shouldn't have gotten the 0.5 version of the camera. That's a neat looking thermal image right there. A lot of contrast because it's actually cold in here. Well, and also I have a fan on me. How do you know you have a fan on you, Bother? Are you sure? But yeah, I would love to have like a key that sits next to the thermal camera, like a very, very small thing, like maybe off to the right, that just gives a temperature range, because it's constantly moving. Like if I don't view that, sort of the range of temperatures changes as you look at things with varying amounts of heat. What are we printing? This would be the bottom plate for a 4-plate radiator holder for my automated laser etching setup. So that's this right here, this control panel that's right here. It's got all kinds of bits and bobs all over it, and I need to reprint a couple things in order to make it work, but we are shoring up all of the different hardware. What are we printing? Money. Well, eventually. But yeah, that panel is going to go back here. And of course, we've got to figure out how to route all the tubes and stuff to it. But I need to print this stuff out before we figure that second part out. On some larger prints, it's kind of cool to watch. You can see like you can see the filament as it goes in cooling down, like especially on the longer runs, on the straightaway sections. You'll see it kind of cool as the nozzle moves away. There we go. That's a better contrast. My nozzle has seen better days, huh? I need to get silicone tubes that I can use instead of the tape that I put down there. I think silicone tubes would do a little better. Mid-range printers for beginners. I don't know. You know, I don't have that kind of knowledge of the landscape of 3D printing. The printer that you're seeing here is a Creality CR10S that I've heavily modified. It's barely even a Creality CR10S anymore. But some of the things that I look for are dual Z screws with 2 motors so that you can level that out. And then another thing is, I don't know, direct drive head. I don't know much about, I know about like my end of things. I've kind of specialized in my own personal knowledge of 3D printing instead of knowing stuff that the general population should look for and buy in their initial printer setup. And I guess it depends on what you want to do with the printer too. If you want to specialize in 3D printing, you can go for something like a VORNOI and it'll become your hobby from then on out. But you also get to talk about things like VORNOI in public. You get to say that word. But like the Crealities are pretty good. Prusa's, I hear, are pretty much like a silver bullet. Like it just works, right? Aside from that, I really don't know what to suggest. Look at it laying down that hot snot. Yeah, look at them go. I know people have said that they would totally love it if I would broadcast the whole 3D print when I print stuff like this, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that's very entertaining in my mind. This is just kind of a fun visual for the tryptophobes out there. Also, it's running in a direction where we can't see the heat. That's kind of lame. What are you doing? Why don't you go in a direction that's cool? Beginner, and I like my Ender 3v2. Does take a bit of maintenance. Yeah. Yeah, the default state for most 3D printers is broken. Broken and sitting and waiting for a project. I happen to do this stuff a lot, and so I use the printer a lot. It took maybe a month hiatus since the last like important print, but I'm here. I'm using this thing a lot, so I'm fairly aware of how like the state of things with the printer, whether or not it's all calibrated and set properly. But depending on your level of hobby, your printer might sit for extended amounts of time unused, and then when you try to spool it up again, something will be wrong with it that you need to address before you get to the rest of your project. Might begin study in mechatronics and robotics in March. I'm March. Sorry, but a cheaper mid-range 3D printer would give me some flexibility in projects. Yes. Yeah, certainly would. I was skeptical about 3D printers at first. I thought they were useless. I still think they're kind of useless. They have one job and they're bad at it. But when you get it to the point where I've managed to get this printer, which is to be able to supplement all of the solids that I need in order to build things, you get it to that point, and it is an extremely useful tool because you don't. I mean, I already know a lot of machining and stuff like that, but I can make stuff with sort of an accuracy that I cannot otherwise, because I'm not good at making stuff. I just know how to do it. So it's nice to set something out to build a plate like this where I don't have to do the measurements and get them wrong again and again. All right, so I think I'm gonna end there. We've kind of accomplished the goals that I had at the beginning of the stream. We didn't do the LED stuff yet. We'll get to that probably Thursday. Maybe parts will come in the mail, I hope. Hopefully my anti-lock braking system computer comes in the mail. If you guys probably weren't there. The repairs that I did last stream didn't do anything. The car tries to activate the block of MOSFETs, and it's just like, no, this is what is this? So it just, and I think the only theory that I have, because we tested these, we know they work at 12 volts, and we know that they trigger that motor and can run it consistently without blowing out or getting too much heat or whatever. Either the activation signal was too strong for these. We hit these with 12 volts, so maybe there was too much current and it blew it out. I don't think that's possible. Barring that, it might be that the computer is operating at a very low voltage, which is surprising to me because it's 1990s electronics. It should be pretty much at 5 volts. And so maybe it just doesn't have the oomph to set off the FETs. I don't really believe that, but I double checked all the connections, including the ones. I didn't check right where the solder joint was, for instance. I checked from outside of the module all the way into the circuit board, and I got good continuity. So that goes through all our stuff and through the stuff that I glued. So, do you work on stuff when you're not streaming as well? Yes, oh yes. There's a lot that goes on in the background in the shop. Most of it is cleaning up. These days have been pretty burnt out in between streams, and I haven't been doing a lot of work on stuff, but, you know, ordering parts, making sure that I have stuff, figuring out what the stream is going to be next time. All of those things occur in the meantime. The reason that I don't do a Wednesday stream is so that we have time for orders to come in. And I should do more Wednesday streams. I'm going to see if I can pick that up or not. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background here that I need to attend to. So, yep. That's what I do when I'm not online. When I'm not terminally online. All right, well, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Here's the end card with social media links. It seemed to be boiling down to just dog pictures these days. But if you want to join the Discord, I'm on the Discord in between streams. So there's a lot more updates on projects and stuff in the Discord. Every now and then I'll roll those into a tweet. But yeah, that's pretty much how things operate. I need to get back to video editing. But anyway, I'll be back on Wednesday. So you guys know where to catch me, and I will see you guys then. Wait, I said back on Wednesday. No, back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday. Thursdays